Welcome, misfits, to this night's Skeptic Bible Study, episode 17, Ubering Across the Red Sea. Tonight, Moses and the Israelites leave Egypt, but not so fast. The Pharaoh is right on their tail. Will this be the end of Moses and his problems? Find out on another episode of Bibbles Creek. For the first half of our Skeptic Bible study, the host will read this week's chapters along with the annotations at the side. Don't mind if we take a less than literal interpretation of characters' names. However, everything else on the page will be left as is, or was put together via committee. Either way, at the later half of the show, we'll switch into our open mic format for anyone to speak their mind on what we just read. At that point, look for the link in chat to come join our Skeptic Bible study, or throughout the show, send me your questions, comments, or thoughts by tagging me at Amy Newman. After the podcast, if you're still looking for some meme in action, we'll be heading to Discord for debates, discussions, or just some chillin'. Lastly, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that all button icon so that you can get live reminders. And if you'd like to support the show, we offer some unique perks with the aim of creating more content at patreon.com/Amy Newman, including awesome Patreons like KO Champ and Oz from the Atheist Round Table. Okay, with that, let's see what's on the menu. Before we begin, I'm going to start by going over the specific Bible we'll be reading, along with some helpful category marks. Categories, you say? Why, yes I do. You see, we're going to be reading from the Skeptic's Annotated Bible, an entire King James Bible lovingly fawned over by a skeptic who decided he would add his own notations. These are little flagpoles of sanity put in use to remind us that, hey, maybe slavery is evil, including categories like absurdity, injustice, and cruelty, but also a good amount of intolerance, contradictions, and conflicts with science or history. That doesn't mean it's not packed full of misogyny, false prophecy, and some questionable biblical family values. Now, we won't skip the good parts that the Bible has, only that these passages seem far fewer in number than any priest or pastor seems to suggest. So without further ado, won't you come join the Skeptic crew? Woo-hoo! How are you tonight, James? And how could Moses possibly escape this one?
I don't know, but based on what we've seen before, I'm going to guess at some point magic is going to come into the picture. I may be wrong on that, but I'm getting that feeling, So last time we left off, the God stopped hardening the Pharaoh's heart after he killed a bunch of kids, as he is wont to do. And then he told his people to leave. But while you're on the way out, be sure to help yourself with your neighbor's valuables as you're leaving. Some biblical looting. You got mute.
Oh, I keep on forgetting my double mute. That was an interesting passage that they were actually commanded or told, go pick the gold, the silver, and they were like, okay.
Biblical looting.
Biblical looting. Woohoo! And okay, so we're moving along. We're in the second book of the Bible, and we are in the book of Exodus, chapter 13. Woohoo!
You
So,
got a nice selection already.
let's see. Yes, speaking about what was on the menu, laws commemorating the Exodus. Okay, you gotta have laws commemorating the Exodus. I mean, what would it be if we didn't have laws commemorating the Exodus?
I mean, yeah.
And
What would God do if He wasn't, spending His time making up rules for His creations to follow that He knows they won't be able to follow, but He just likes making them anyway.
he's a list person, okay, James? Come on, he likes lists. You can appreciate it. Okay, let's see. So I think we've completed my little biblical categories. I'm really excited. This is and he or she, they're very excited to be here. Oh, we don't even have intolerance. That's okay. I'm going to show them anyway, because this is violence. Everyone loves violence. Well, I just wanted to show you my completion of our category. Everyone meet the very happy intolerance. He's a little sad, but he's a
Is that
happy
an
octopus.
octopus?
I love him. It's a double-sided octopus. It's fantastic. Woohoo! And okay, but we actually have something just as good. We have good old violence. Da, da, da,
So,
da.
is the octopus part of the fish kind or the squid kind? Where does that fit into the biblical
Oh,
kinds?
I don't know. And they're very smart too. They can
They are
open
very smart.
jars and solve
Yeah.
puzzles, and I don't know. Yeah.
A
And
million years of evolution, they might be running things.
they'd probably run things better. Okay. Don't forget, though, we have some lovely injustice, because what would the Bible be? Okay, this is the moral arbiter of everything. So, gotta have a little injustice.
Yeah.
But
What's wrong with punishing other people for things other people did? It's fine. It's fun.
exactly.
It's fun.
It's fun. It lets off a little steam. When you create a good us versus them, it feels good to be in the them. Oh my goddess. Exactly. Okay, speaking of that, what would be the Bible if it didn't have some lovely feminism or throwing women away as livestock? Not livestock. I mean, I'm sure they have rights eventually somewhere. The Bible hasn't said anything, but
there's
I'm
a few
sure.
passages where it doesn't refer to women as property. A couple. I'm not sure
That's
where they
true.
are, but it probably is a few.
Though women still have not had a good track record. I just have Salt Woman right in my mind. But it's okay. I'm sure she'll be fine. She'll be good. Speaking of that, the Bible has no contradictions, except in this section. We're going to let this section go, okay? There's no contradictions in here, except for in this section, apparently. But that'll be fine. That'll be fine, because we're having a good time, people. It's hilarity, okay? We're reading the Bible. Okay. Here we go. The laws commemorating the Exodus. And the Lord, Bob, spake unto Charlton Heston, saying, sanctify unto me all the firstborn. Oh, that's always a good sentence to start with. Whatsoever openeth the womb among the children of Ishmael, Shmishmael, both of man and of beast, it is mine. God said to Moses, every firstborn man or beast must be consecrated to me. It is mine.
The secondborn, they don't matter. They're just
They don't matter. And Moses, Charlton Heston specifically, he just did such a great job. I just can't hand it. Said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came from out of New York, out of the house of bondage. Oh my. And by the strength
The
of
House
the
of
hand.
Bondage. Where's that?
I know it's getting kinky already. Oh, you know where the house of bondage is. For by the strength of hand, the Lord Bob brought you out from this place. There shall be no leavened bread be eaten. He has this thing with leavened bread.
That yeah,
Um,
after being out of slavery, that's the priority. This war on leaven.
priority.
That is enemy number one is leaven. He's got generals. It's like a battle plan. We are going to kill and eradicate this leaven. But I mean, they probably could have been out of Egypt like a month before they actually did. If God would have stopped hardening the
Have
Pharaoh's
his
heart so many times.
priorities. Oh, I
Yeah,
know.
like
That, let me be honest, that's going to stick with me for a long time. That story. Like, he hardened Pharaoh's heart 5 times. Who is the villain in this story?
yeah, they could have been out a month ago or even before then.
Yep.
If God had stopped. Yeah. Oh well.
Playing
Praise
games,
God.
playing hard to get. And Charlton Heston, did I say that? Oh no, leavened bread, of course. How could we forget leavened bread? This day came ye out in the month, excuse me, Abib. Oh, that's my favorite month. And it shall be, I mean, it does, I shouldn't make too much fun. All our months are, yeah. And it shall be when the Lord Bob shall bring thee into the Lord, can I not? And the Hittites, oh my, and the Amorites, and the Hivites, and the Jezbuites, which he sware unto thy father to give thee, a land flowing with milk and honey, that thou shalt keep this servant in this month, the service in this month. God will give you land that belongs to other people, a land flowing with milk and honey.
Well, that's no problem. I'm sure the people who live there will just hand it over to them. There won't be any problem with that.
No, exactly. I think everything will be fine.
Hey, maybe as long as they cut part of their genitalia off, they're cool. They can be, yeah,
Exactly. You'll be fine if you just
little
cut
bit
off
of
some
genital
foreskins.
mutilation. Yeah.
Little bit of snip, snip, do, do, do. And hi, Spooky. Hi, everyone in chat. Hi, Tobin and
Smoky bed
Donald and
hair.
Aunt Cher. And yeah, Tobin and Cher,
Smoky
Donald.
bed
Yeah,
hair.
the smoky bed, spooky bed hair. Where were we? Was it 5?
6. No, yeah, you
6.
got through 5.
Got to find 6, 7 days. Thou shalt, once again, back to unleavened bread. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread. Look, I like matzah. You can put lots of things on it. The problem is, where do you have a shopping mall to get lots of other things? There is no
You
jam. There's no peanut butter. I don't know
you
what
know
these
the
people are doing.
scribe. You know the scribe who wrote this was getting massive kickbacks from the matzah industry.
From the matzah industry. See, it's all making sense, James. Putting things
Hey,
together.
you wash my hand, I'll wash yours.
Exactly. He's got. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Yahweh had a small business. Everyone, they all have theirs on the side. Yahweh maybe likes to sell ice
Yeah,
cream. Who
like
knows?
Trump University, right?
Exactly. Yahweh University. Okay, so, and thou shalt shew thy son in the day, saying, this is done because of that which the Lord Bob did unto me when I came forth out of New York. When your sons ask you why there's no leavened bread around, tell him it's because of what God did to you when you left Egypt. Oh,
Well, what did he do?
He had kind of a match with himself where he's like, hey, I'm going to harden Pharaoh's heart, and then I'm going to get my boy Moses to go over there and ask him repeatedly, and every time that Moses asks him, I'm going to harden his heart again.
But how did the Jews get into Egypt in the first place? Was that thing where Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery, and then God came up with this idea for 7 years of famine, and he made sure Joseph
I
went to
forget. There was
prison
something.
with the
Yeah.
baker, and then he would read the Pharaoh's dream, and then he would bring
Didn't they
everybody to
come? They
Egypt.
came over because after the whole shenanigans with the brother, the selling of the brother, then they came over, and then this must be their ancestors. Somehow they must have became slaves because reasons.
Yeah, the Pharaoh who let him in died, and like two pharaohs later, then the
Oh yeah,
Pharaoh didn't
Pharaoh
know who they
Bling
were.
Bling.
Yeah, the
Yeah, Pharaoh
second
Bling
or
Bling the third is the evil one. We
yeah.
like the first two pharaohs, Pharaoh Bling Blings, but Pharaoh Bling Bling the third, oh, the scourge of Yahweh's people, apparently.
So Yahweh got him in this mess to begin with, but hey, he's rescuing it, so he's the hero. He's coming to save the day from the mess he made.
And theists are forever going to hate the Thanos analogy that has become so popular. But once again, okay, snapping, whistling, making a song about it. Why can't Yahweh just overchange things? Just teleport them. I don't know. Is that not one of the powers? Then again, nowhere in the Bible does it say, so far anyway, does it say that Yahweh is all powerful. So who knows what his specific powers are? Okay, what number were we on? 9? And it
Yes.
shall be for a sign unto thee upon thine hand. Right here. Give it right here. And for a memorial between thine eyes. Okay.
Well, that's a good spot for it.
It's a good spot for it. That the Lord Bob's law may be in thy mouth. Oh, baby.
Oh, that's what he's calling it, the law.
Oh, is that what we call it these days? For with a strong hand hath the Lord Bob brought thee out of Egypt. Kinda. I mean, yeah, I guess you got there.
And Yahweh's saying, look at these hands. Look at these hands. No problems there, I tell you.
No hands. Oh man. Don't worry, we got this. How did he do it in the first place? Okay. Thou shalt therefore keep this ordinance in his season for a reason from the year to your sneer. And it shall be when the Lord Bob shall bring thee into the land of Canaanite, as he sware unto thee and to thy fathers, and shall give it to thee. Keep this law forever. Okay, keep the law. Gotcha. We gotcha. That thou shalt set apart unto the Lord all that openeth the matrix. Oh, okay. This took an interesting twist.
So where's Morpheus?
I was about to say, we're about to go Neo, go Morpheus. Okay. Oh my God. That said first thing, I guarantee you.
I know what you. Not what you.
Where my brain went. Once again. And
God's trolling you.
I know, God's trolling me. And every firstling, wow, this is the Mandalorian that cometh of a beast. All right, it took it once again. We're taking twists and turns, but whatever you're into, which thou has, the males shall be the Lord Bob's.
The females, whatever.
Every firstborn male belongs to God. That's a little weird. I mean, not completely weird, but a little weird. You gotta say, a little bit. Why are you claiming firstborns? Okay. He has this thing with firstborns. He likes killing them. He likes claiming them. Whatever, dude.
I would not want Yahweh around children. I don't think that would be a good mix.
From day one, I wouldn't want him as a babysitter. Horrible babysitter. Horrible. I let it go because it was his first time, but then he punished them. It was like, no, dude, you don't blame the kid when you fuck up. Like, you don't put the fancy glowy thing in front of the kid and say, don't touch the fancy glowing thing. And then when the kid touches the fancy glowing thing, you're like, you can't even live here anymore.
Well, okay, Yahweh, what happened? The kid, he spilled some juice from his sippy cup. And what'd you do, Yahweh? I beat him to death with a tire iron. Felt like the right thing to do. Oh.
It was the right idea. Exactly. You have to, honestly, you gotta fear him to know how much he loves you. That's how it works, James.
That's real love. That is what real love. It's not this fake atheist love. It's godly love. Agape. That's what they call it. That pure love.
You know it's real love when you come home and you're absolutely terrified of the person. That's how you know that it's real love. Duh. He doesn't kill you, James. Duh. Stop being extra. Everyone's so extra. Okay.
I mean, he kills people from time to time, but he hasn't killed you yet. So yeah, look on the bright side.
Exactly. He wipes out a little bit of everyone from time to time. But who doesn't wipe out a planet from time to time? Not to go back to the Thanos analogy, but come on. Everyone uses a planet to, attack someone or kills everyone on the planet or gives supervillain speeches. Those are normal. Anyway, so firstling, back to the Mandalorian. And every firstling of an ass, you're doing this to me, Bibble, thou shalt redeem with a lamb. And if thou will not redeem it, then thou shalt break his neck. That escalated quickly. And all the firstborn of man among thy children shalt thou redeem. Every firstborn ass must be redeemed with a lamb. That's always a good sentence. If you don't redeem it, you must break its neck. Okay, and you must redeem all your firstborn children. I like how that's just like, and by the way, and you must.
There's just so much wisdom already in this chapter, so much meaning and insight. I can't get over it.
I can't.
I mean, we've had a lot of good stuff so far, but this is just wow. Praise God.
I remember when they quoted this to me in my Hebrew Bible school. It was fantastic. I remember. Okay. I keep on to every firstling, right. And 14. It shall be when thy son asketh thee in time to come, saying, what is this that thou shalt say unto him by strength of the hand? The Lord Bob brought us out from New York, from the house of bondage. Oh my.
The house of the rising sun?
He brought you out of the house of the rising sun, baby. Well, there was something rising. And it came to pass when Pharaoh Bling Bling III would hardly let us go, that the Lord Bob slew all the firstborn in the land of Egypt. Why? I guess, once again,
after making it so that the Pharaoh wouldn't let him go, then he punished all the kids.
Yes, and it's so funny. He doesn't even punish. I don't understand why he just kills random people, random children. I don't know. Whatever. Firstborn, he has this thing of man, and the firstborn of beast. Did we read 15? We're on 16. Being males.
15.
Yeah, 15. Oh no. Okay, really? Oh, I saw the word Matrix again. I got excited, but I didn't know. Okay, we're going back into the Matrix. And it came to pass when Pharaoh, oh yeah, I got accept because Yahweh was killing firstborns. I'm sorry. And it came to pass when Pharaoh Bling Bling the Third would hardly let us go, but he did let them go. That the Lord Bob slew all the firstborn in the land of New York, but he's not the villain. This is the moral arbiter of everyone and everything. Okay, but the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beasts, because why the fuck not? While we're killing things. Someone's out there like, but they ate the food. Even the kids? You ate the kids? Come on, people. You're gonna over the Matrix. Being males, but all the firstborn of my children I redeem. Because I know there's people that make the vegetarian or the anti-vegetarian, because they killed the animals. But how do you know? Just because God likes the smell of blood, they actually ate the. Does it say they ate the animal? Or are you saying that they ate the animal? No, it's just that Yahweh likes the smell of blood. That's what the text says. Just like the text doesn't seem to say 6,000 years. I'm waiting for that.
Well, that's a hyper-literalist interpretation, but the only thing I've seen so far about eating the kill was when he told him to spray the lamb's blood over the door. He told him to go ahead and eat that lamb after you use its blood as a form of paint.
Okay, it's still and that's the one time, but it's still a little bit weird that you need to spread lamb's blood over your door to make sure your God doesn't kill your
first. Makes perfect sense to Yahweh, right?
Makes perfect sense. Also, hi, Doc Fearsome. Hi, Jamie Russell. Okay, we're moving along. We're apparently having fun Yahweh style. Woohoo!
16, right? Yep.
16. And it shall be for a token upon thy hand, and for the fortnight. Good. The game, probably. No, not
a Chuck E. Cheese token.
Fortnite. A Chuck E. Cheese token, exactly. Between thy eyes, for by strength of the hand, the Lord Bob brought us forth out of New York, and then he killed a lot of people while he did it. So as a token to God, keep it on your hand and between your eyes, because God brought us out of Egypt. Okay, very impressive.
Yeah, this is like the friend who does a favor for you, and then weeks and months and even years later, they're constantly reminding you about that time that they helped you out, that favor I did.
And see, Jamie, my problem with that is that's your interpretation. There's nowhere in the Bible that says a day is 1,000 years. I don't even think I know the creationists are saying they're being literal. I don't think that's being literal. Where does it say that's metaphorical? Even though they're like, well, it's not millions or billions. It shouldn't even be thousands. It should say, well, hey, it took 6 days, and we don't know anything else except for the 6 days, or maybe the 7th day, and then
I think maybe is a 6 day or the literal 6 day.
6 day. Well, they're saying 6 days is 1,000 years, but it doesn't say 6 days. Oh, Jamie and Chad, and I appreciate that. I mean, that's what a lot of the creationists think.
Tell that to Ken Hovind. He'll say nope. 624-hour days.
I feel bad. I shouldn't even be getting probably too much into chat. I always feel unfair when it's not the open mic, because then they can't really too much respond. But that's okay. We'll go back into where were we moving down? Through the wilderness of the Red Sea. And oh, goody. So we have science, because, of course, we can use this as a lovely science textbook. Goes right in. Okay.
You know, like that time where if you forget your science book to class, you can just go ahead and bring a Bible. It's probably better.
Exactly.
It's probably better.
And I'm looking for my little yellow ball. I feel like my little yellow ball ran away. Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
You
Moonlight
little
probably
yellow
got it.
ball. So I have my little yellow woohoo. All right. So it's both some science and some fun. Through the wilderness of the Red Sea.
Over the river and through the snow.
Over the river and through the snow. And it
The
came
grandmother's
to
house we go.
pass, when Pharaoh had let the people go, that God, they just said God. That's normally they say that God led them not through the way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near. For God said, lest peradventure of the people repent when they see war, and they return to Egypt. And God led the people about through the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea. And the children of Israel, Shmishmael, went up harnessed out of the land of New York. And Moses, Charlton Heston, right here. He's a good. And I just did that and I lost my place. And Moses took the bones of Joseph, Joe DiMaggio. Joe DiMaggio is back with him, for he had straitly sworn the children of Israel, Shmishmael, saying, God will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones away hence from you. And they took the journey from Succoth, and encamped in Etham, in the edge of the wilderness.
So they've got Joseph's body. He's been dead for like 400 or 500 years now, and they're just toting it around with him.
Boop, boop, boop.
Why not? Why not at this
Why
point?
not? You gotta get some exposition in there, or else what would it be? Every once in a while, real close. Every once in a while,
Maybe
God's
they,
like, hey, laws. You like laws? You like lists and naming people and then watching them die and then naming more people?
maybe they pose him in like a chair and put him at the table for dinner. You know, you have the guests over. Like, what's with the dead body sitting at the table? That's Joseph. He's been dead for like
That's
500
just
years.
Joseph. He'll be fine.
He's part of the crew.
We just prop him up. We got him taxidermed. He'll be good.
Weekend at Joseph's.
Weekend at Joseph's. Hi, Duke Nukem. And the Lord Bob went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by the night in a pillar of fire to give them light to go by day and night. Poetic. He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of night from before the people. God went before the Israelites in a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night.
Oh, that's like Yahweh GPS.
Yahweh GPS, baby. And okay, so we have just read the book of Exodus, chapter 13, laws commemorating Exodus. There's no.
What do you think? What do you think? What comes to mind?
I mean, I don't know why Yahweh is playing games. We're getting ready for the epic sea adventure, but I don't know why we had to go through all this. Why that slaughter at the end? He was just like he's like a ninja, and like, I get you saved everyone, but you didn't have to kill everyone like at the end when all the the people are running away. You don't have to then go back and be like, hey, guess what? And it wasn't like they're soldiers. These aren't soldiers. These aren't, I don't know, deserving of any sort of punishment. They haven't done anything wrong.
Oh, well, I mean, I think we're kind of not looking at the big picture. We're not really looking at like the most important thing here, which of course is the eradication of leaven. I mean, that is top on God's priority list, you know.
Honestly, when you think about it, it doesn't really matter that he killed all those firstborn because we got really good matzah. If you think
Yeah, there
about
you
it,
go. Yeah, it makes sense.
it's a decent trade-off if you don't think about it. All right, moving right
Moving on up.
along. The Book of Shmexodus, chapter 14, the Red Sea Crossing.
A
And
smorgasbord of terror.
the smorgasbord of fun. Okay, so we have some awesome pain for all you sadists and masochists out there. This is going to be a great chapter for you. Who doesn't love some pain? And while we're being painful, who doesn't love the unjust part about being painful? And hey, guys, it's also kind of funny. Oh my gosh, because the Bible would never contradict itself. Yeah, except for when it does. Anyway, the Red Sea crossing. Oh my, the epic. Or I guess I shouldn't give spoilers, right? I mean, how is Moses gonna get out of this one? Even though he has a deity on his back or has his back, how is he gonna get out of this one, James? It has to be on the edge of my seat.
I don't know. Maybe he'll make a raft out of frogs, and they can, you
Oh,
know.
exactly. That shoot flies at the Egyptians, which, I mean, and maybe there's boils on the frogs just to make them, the Egyptians, just fearful. So it's like the whole package.
And then the locusts come and they cover the entire earth
Exactly.
in locusts.
There you go. We can just all at once. I don't know how God could do it. He's been topping himself every time. He didn't say, I was like, I'm not going to drown you guys anymore. I'm going to like be interesting. So he's been pulling his A game in the torturing, killing, and all that fun stuff. Anyway, the Red Sea crossing. And the Lord, Bob, spake unto Charlton Heston, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel Shmishmael, that they turn and encamp before Phipperoth, between Migdol and the sea, over against Balazaphon.
Oh, over against Balsaphon. Okay. All right.
I used to camp out there. It was great.
At
But
Balaphon?
yes,
Balsaphon?
Balazaphon. It was right next to Schmizzledizzle. Before it shall ye encamp by the sea. For Pharaoh Bling Bling the third will say of the children of Israel Shmishmael, they are entangled in the land. The wilderness hath shut them in. Don't shut me in. And I will... Come on, Bible. Come on, Bible. Why are you doing this to me?
He's not done with Pharaoh yet. He was having too much fun with the Pharaoh. He's like, I should have done a few more plagues. I should have done a couple more plagues before I let him go. I was having so much fun with that.
But do you have to re-harden his heart? Does it have a cooldown timer? How does Yahweh's powers work? Why didn't it have to be once? Okay, whatever. And I will harden Pharaoh Bling Bling's heart, again for the 6th time, that he shall follow after them, and I will be honored upon Pharaoh Bling Bling the third, and upon all his host, that the Egyptians may know that I am the Lord. And they did
they know.
so.
They know. They already know.
God said to Moses, tell the people
to turn around and camp before my favorite place, Pitafortha, between Migol and the sea, over against Balzaphon. That way, the Pharaoh will say, the Israelites are trapped in the wilderness. I will harden the Pharaoh's heart so that he will follow after him. I will be glorified, and the Egyptians will know that I am God. You couldn't have just made a sign.
I think Balzaphon, that's that place where there's like no rest. There's nothing to eat except they have like 7 Waffle Houses all over, but nowhere else to go.
I do love me a good Waffle House, though, so that's okay. Let's see. So we were at
5, I think.
5?
Yeah.
Moving along. We got past hardening his heart for the 6th time. And it was told the king of New York that the people fled. And the heart of Pharaoh Bling Bling III and of his servants was turned against the people. And they said, why have we done this? That we have let Israel Shmishmael go from serving us. It's almost like we just had a god bring 10 plagues upon all of our people. A random assortment, including locusts and flies and boils and the death of our firstborn, and all of this was happening in darkness. And we were like, hey, you know what? That slave labor probably isn't as good as all of us being able to see.
You think it's worth the trouble? Yeah.
Okay, so and he made from his chariot and took his people from him. And he took 600 chosen chariots. And all chosen. And all the chariots
special.
of New York. Oh, yeah, exactly. They're very special. And captains over every one of them. He took 600 chariots and chased after them. Okay. And Stop doing this to me, Yahweh. I know that I don't even believe. It's like, can you believe? Was this what I felt like when I was reading Harry Potter? And they were like, ye shall not be named? Because I'm getting that vibe.
I mean, 600 chariots. There's like 1.5 million Israelis out there. That doesn't really seem like enough, but
yeah, that seems like the kind of logic that you would have to have a hardened heart for.
We'll just send a few chariots. What could go wrong?
We'll send a few chariots. They'll be fine. And when Pharaoh Bling Bling III drew nigh, the children of Israel Shmishmael lifted up their eyes, and behold, I looked at chat. I'm sorry. We were on 9, drew 9. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Ishmael lifted up their eyes, and behold, the New Yorkians marched after them, and they were sore afraid. And the children of Ishmael cried out into the Lord. And the Israelites were sore and afraid, and cried out to God. And they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in New York, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us, to carry us from out of New York? Is not this the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it had been better for us to serve the New Yorkians than we should die in the wilderness. I mean, RuneScape is cool and all, but the wilderness is so scary. The Israelites complained to Moses, saying, did you bring us here because there weren't enough graves in Egypt? Are they making jokes?
Yeah, Bible humor.
It was better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die here in the wilderness. Well, I'm glad everyone's sad. It's good times.
Equally miserable. There you go.
Everyone is equally miserable except Yahweh. Yahweh's having a good old time. And Charlton Heston said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will shew to you today. For the New Yorkians, whom ye have seen today, yet shall you see them again no more forever. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. Moses said to the people, don't be afraid. God will fight for you, and you should shut your mouths.
Quit grumbling, yeah.
Quit grumbling. And the Lord, Bob, said unto Charlton Heston, wherefore crust thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel Ishmael, that they go forward. God said to Moses, don't talk to me, talk to the people. But lift thou up thy rod, O baby,
Ooh.
and stretch out thine hand over the sea, and divide it. Excuse me. And the children of Ishmael shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. Later you'll lift up your rod, stretch your hand over the sea, divide it, and the people will cross it. It'll be a great visual effect, honey. Go for it. Lean into it. This is gonna get it's gonna be half of our budget, but it'll be worth it. And I behold, I will harden the hearts. Wow, this is it's getting to the point, because I used to try and count with how much Yahweh endorsed slavery, but after like 60 times in the first book of the Bible, I'm like, you know what? I think we can stop counting. We're now up to 7 times that he's hardening people's hearts. I feel like at a certain point, my heart just gets numb to it.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. And
Praise
I
God.
will behold, praise God, the moral arbiter of everything. Though he doesn't say does he say he's the moral arbiter?
I'm sure at some point he will.
I'm waiting for it. I feel bad. I don't mean to pick on the apologist. It's just all this stuff that seems missing once you actually read the Bible. It's surprising, to say the least. It's more naming and killing than I expected. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord. Bob, They know, dude.
They already know.
Yeah, they could have figured it out. When I have gotten the honor, because unlike us, you give them evidence. You kind of just appear and do shit. We don't have frogs falling from our atmosphere. And I will harden the hearts of the New Yorkians, and they shall follow them, because they've hardened hearts. And I will get me some of that sweet, sweet honor, I guess, upon Pharaoh Bling Bling the Third, and upon all his host, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. I'll harden the hearts of the Egyptians, they'll follow the Israelites, and I'll drown them all. That way, I'll get honor on myself. Oh.
Praise me.
Oh, now it makes sense. Okay. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord. Okay, yeah. And the angel of God, which went before the camp of Israel Ishmael, hold on, I'm going to try that. And the angel, and you know what? I'm thinking of Ricky Gervais. I think I have a new one. And the angel of dogs, which went before them, the camp of Israel Ishmael, because he always says he doesn't believe in God, but God backwards is dogs, and he loves dogs. Dogs are so amazing, right?
They
Camp
are.
of Israel.
Yeah. But that's probably a bad thing to bring up, maybe.
Oh, I know. Can't bring up that. Removed and went behind them, and the pillar of the cloud went before their face and stood before them. And it came between the camp of the Egyptians, or the New Yorkians, and the camp of Israel Shmishmael, and it was a cloud and darkness to them, but it gave light by the night to these, so that the one came not near the other of all the night. An angel in a pillar of cloud go before the Israelites. It was a cloud of darkness to the Egyptians, but light for the Israelites. Oh, okay. And it came before the Egyptians. Okay, no.
Yeah, you read that.
Don't mind me. I should probably
21.
see. Let me see if this will help. There we go. I get lost. Because sometimes it's me being redundant. Sometimes it's the Bible being redundant.
Yeah,
Most
we'll
of
have
the
two
time
verses
it's
that
me.
say basically the same thing, just slightly different wording.
Yes, and I don't know why he covers the same ground. Sometimes I don't know why he covers the ground he covers in the first time.
Because he wants you to know that he is the Lord God. He
the
really wants you to know
Lord,
that.
baby. It
He
all
wants you to
makes
know it.
sense.
And he hates leaven. Hates it.
Hates
Worst
leaven.
thing in the world. Yeah.
Worst thing, okay? No more brownies, no more cakes, okay? You need to have that flat cracker.
Yeah, it'd be like the war on baking soda. You know how we
A
have the war
on
on drugs, the war on baking soda.
Soda. Night, Dave
Night, Dave.
Gar. Heart. All right, moving along. And Charlton Heston stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord Bob caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall. It was a very nice wall. It was a beautiful wall. Some people were saying it was a fantastic wall. Upon to them on their right hand, but really on this, I guess on this camera, and on their left. And the New Yorkians pursued and went in after them, Kinky, to the midst of the sea. Even all of Pharaoh Bling Bling the third's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. So Moses parted the sea with his hand, and the Israelites walked across the dry land. The Egyptians pursued the Israelites into the midst of the sea. So this is, the famous scene once again. Fantastic visual effects team gets to sink their teeth into this. Wonderful. And it came to pass, like a kidney stone, that in the morning, watch, the Lord Bob looked into the host of the New Yorkians through the pillars of fire and of the cloud and the troubled host of the Egyptians. God saw the Egyptians through the fire and cloud pillars, and he removed their chariot wheels and took off their chariot wheels, that they drave them heavily. That's what it says. So that the New Yorkians said, "Let us flee from the face of Israel Shmishmael, for the Lord Bob fighteth for them against the Egyptians."
God does that trick all the time, like where you're riding in a car and God will just zap the car and the tires disappear. It's running on rotors.
Donald says, in other words, there was a smoke trail. There was smoke trailing the fire as they carried their volcano god of war to light their way. Woohoo! Yeah. We'll make Pharaoh pay for the wall. He'll pay for it. Okay, and hi, Titan Uranus.
Titan Uranus.
All right, moving along.
25?
And no, 26. And the Lord said unto Moses, Stretch out thy hand over the sea, that the waters may come again, oh my, upon the New Yorkians, upon their chariots, and upon their horsemen. God said to Moses, stretch out your hand over the sea to make the waters come down and drown all the Egyptians. Wonderful.
It's been a while since he drowned a bunch of people, so he's reminiscing.
Exactly. Just reminiscing. And Moses, Charlton Heston, stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to his strength when the morning appeared, and the Egyptians fled against it, and the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. So Moses stretched out his hand, and the sea returned to drown the Egyptian army. Yeah, as it does. And the waters returned, and covered the chariots and the horsemen, and all the host of Pharaoh Bling Bling the Thirds that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them. Wow.
Not even one? Yeah.
Not even one. But the children of Israel walked upon dry land in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a beautiful wall, went onto them their right hand and onto their left. Thus the Lord Bob saved Israel that day out of the hand of the New Yorkians, and Israel saw the New Yorkians dead upon the seashore. But the
It's a beautiful sight.
What a beautiful sight. But the Israelites walked safely on dry land to the other side of the sea. Wonderful.
Sucks to be them, the Egyptians.
Sucks to be the Egyptians. And Israel saw the great work which the Lord Bob did upon the Egyptians.
Great work.
Great work. Good job, God. And the people feared the Lord Bob because he's killing everybody. And believe the Lord Bob, because he's killing everybody, and his servant Charlton Heston. And when the Israelites saw the great work that God did on the Egyptians, they believed and feared God and Moses. I guess as you do. And okay.
Do it to me.
We have just finished the book of Exodus, chapter 14. Woohoo! So what do you think?
Well, so at the end of that chapter, it says that so the Israelites, they've seen God do all this magic before, so now they're sure that this God is real, that he is on their side, and he does amazing stuff for them. I don't think they'll ever forget about that and ever want to serve any other gods after, having that evidence put before them, undeniable, smoking gun proof. So
I feel
faithful
after
to
your
God
God just killed a whole bunch of people and pillaging and going through all the trouble and sending all those plagues, I feel like he's a guy, I don't know, he's unforgettable. You know what I mean?
Exactly. They would have to be like the dumbest people ever to live for them to one day, just maybe like a week or two later, just decide to start worshiping another god for the fun of it.
Yeah, that would just be silly. But
who would do that?
Who knows? The surprises are so plenty. All right. So, welcome to the book of Exodus, chapter 15. The Song of Moses. Excuse me. Times 2. So we're starting off with some good pain. But that's okay, because it's a funny kind of pain. Oh, okay. So that's okay.
God's inflicting the pain, and he's laughing at it.
Exactly. Definitely doesn't contradict the Bible at all, though. It'll be fine. It'll be good. There's no contradictions in the Bible. Okay?
Nope. Not one.
Except for maybe one. But if there's one, then there could... You know what? There are no... Okay.
No, there's none.
Okay. The
turn the frogs gay. You turn the frogs gay.
Turn the frogs gay. Okay. The Song of Moses. Then sang, oh my God, are we
I
going
didn't know
to
this
play?
turned into a musical.
It's like American Idol. We're about to play Desert Idol. Welcome to Desert Idol with your host, Moses. Well, thank you, Yahweh. It's great to be hosting here. I don't know who's going to win the singing competition. We just drowned a bunch of people, but the Israelites are really excited to start singing. Back to you, Yahweh. Then
Where's Simon
sang
Cowell?
Moses. I know, where's Simon Cowell? It's terrible. This is terrible. This is
The worst ever.
For 40 years, this is what you're going to tell me? Oh, this is terrible. Then sang Charlton Heston and the children of Israel Shmishmael. This song that was kind of like the song from the Lord of the Rings, but not as exciting. Unto the Lord, and spak, saying, I will sing unto the Lord, Bob, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea. Yeah, I guess so. Then the Lord Bob is my strength and song, and he is become my salvation. He is my dog. And I will prepare him an habitation, my father's dog, and I will exalt him. And God drowned the Egyptians, Moses, and the Israelites sang a song, as you do after you kill a bunch of people. Here are some of the lyrics. This would go better in Grimm's fairy tales than it would go anywhere else. God has thrown the Egyptian horses and riders into the sea. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. Oh.
I am that I am.
I am that I am, babe. Whoa. It actually says that. I thought people were just... I thought the atheists were just being, I don't want to say playful.
He's a Portuguese man of war.
They are awesome. I've been just looking them up.
They're way cooler than God.
I love carnivorous plants, and Portuguese man of war are another creature that just make you question who we are, in that the Portuguese man of war is a colonial animal.
It's like a colony of...
Exactly. In that we're like, I always try and explain it in that we're like a bunch of single-celled organisms super glued together. Portuguese man of war are a bunch of multi-celled organisms super glued together, which is crazy.
Way cooler than Yahweh.
Way cooler than Yahweh.
And they actually exist.
I gotta be honest. As far as supervillains, and I hate to call him that, but he does some cool stuff in here. It's just evil. I mean, I don't know what to call it, but it's interesting. So when you slog through some of the boring stuff, there is some cool stuff like this. What the hell does this mean? The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. I mean, that just seems very I don't know. Hey, Maya! Woohoo!
Glad you made it. Hey, Robert.
We're having a great midnight ranting. We are Ubering across the Red Sea, and the all-loving...
Some people made it across. Some people got drowned.
Some people, yes. The all-loving, all-knowing God had to drown a few people.
You know, the only thing that would make God kind of bummed out about that is because it was just the soldiers. There were no kids to drown. So, you know, that really, because the first flood, he got to drown all the babies and everything. This time, it was just the chariots. There were no kids there, so.
And I'll move on, but can we never deal with the whole, this God is love stuff? Because it says right here, I mean, he's jealous and he's a man of war. I mean, I know the PR campaign.
I thought, isn't he the Prince of Peace? Isn't that what they call Jesus? The Prince of Peace.
And they give so much crap for Islam, for the whole... it was George Bush who came up with the line. The whole religion of peace or whatever nonsense, which we all rightfully should make fun of because all these stuff, but none of them are any better.
Well,
They're all,
yeah. In the spirit, you have to, he didn't want any, and nobody should take any violent attacks against average Muslims because most of them are just peaceful people. They're not, the
well, I
overwhelming
mean,
majority are not
in my
terrorists.
head, I just call it it's not my joke. I probably took this from a meme somewhere, but it's just the Desert Trilogy. You have the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Quran, and maybe you could have like the bonus chapters of like Mormonism or stuff. But the Desert Trilogy, we're still dealing with this stuff, this so much, and I say this with love as a, I don't know. So my family is all Jews, so as a Semitic person or whatever the hell. I have lots of love. I like matzah. Matzah is actually awesome, but once again, it's only awesome because you can put stuff on here, and I feel like there's not like a ShopRite or an Acme or whatever the hell your convenience store, food store is in your area around here. Okay, moving along past the Lord is a man of war. I mean, that's cool and all, but you don't need to do supervillain speeches. Pharaoh's chariots and his host hath he cast into the sea. His chosen captains also are drowned in the Red Sea. The depths have covered them. They sank into the bottom as a stone.
Yeah,
Wow.
He's going to keep repeating it. He's so proud of himself what he did with those Egyptians.
I was going to
he
say,
just can't stop talking about it.
He's gloating, right? He's gloating about his deaths.
It's like a child, playing baseball or basketball, and they're like, "Dad, watch this. Look what I did."
Because they love to use the Sims analogy. Isn't he just drowning the Sims and looking for praise for it?
Oh, did you see what I did? I got those fuckers good. I fucking drowned them all. Every last one of them. Did you see that?
I know. I get it. You have a small pee-pee, Yahweh. It's okay.
No,
actually, I don't know.
No. I drowned a bunch of Egyptians. I did. I tricked them to go into the water, and I closed the water on them. Ha 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 ha.
Ha ha ha. I know. You had to be dramatic. Once again, also, did he say, now that I think about it, he said he would not kill the Israelites in water, right? That was the shtick? He didn't say he wouldn't kill everyone else with water?
He said he wouldn't flood the entire earth again.
Gotcha.
To kill everybody. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, look at those asterisks. Read your terms of service.
So he could still drown people, just not everybody at once.
Got you. Okay. Still a good guy then. Okay.
Absolutely.
6?
Yes.
Bottom is a stone. Thy right hand, O Lord, is become glorious in power. Thy right hand, O Lord, hath dashed in pieces the enemy. Your right hand, O Lord, has become glorious in power.
Yeah. I mean, we know. You just did it, Yahweh. We all saw it. We know.
We saw you kill everybody.
Yeah,
cool
we
story.
know.
It has dashed the enemy in pieces. And welcome, Sam. Sam, your link is in StreamYard. The third host. Woohoo! Happy Sam's here. And then after chapter 4, we will be opening up the floodgates, or the 4th chapter. But we still got 2 more chapters of fun to go. So, thy right hand, O Lord, have dashed in pieces the enemy. And in greatness of thine excellence, thou hast overthrown them that rose up against thee. Thou sentest forth thy wrath, which consumed them as stubble. You send forth your wrath and burn them as stubble. So they're just having a good old back and forth. You killed them, and damn, it was so awesome how you killed them, God.
Yeah, what am I going to do next time? How am I going to kill the next batch of people? That's the only thing to worry about.
Woohoo! And okay, moving right along. In the greatness of thine excellency. Oh no. And with the blast. Meow. Hi, Gizmo. I always have time to say hi to kitties. And with the blast of thy nostrils, the waters were gathered together. The floods
I
stood
sneezed. It was just a
upright.
sneeze
Just a sneeze.
from the nostril.
Upright. I know that it happens sometimes. You're blasted nostrils. Achoo, achoo, achoo. The floods stood upright as an heap, and the depths were congealed in the heart of the sea. You make great floods with a blast from your nostrils. Oh, and the enemy said, I will pursue, I will overtake, I will divide the spoil, my lust shall be satisfied upon them. I will draw my sword, my hand shall destroy them. And okay, so I'll let you respond to that, James, and just give me a second while I get the URL to Sam.
Let's see.
So what are you thinking?
Yeah,
Nostril blast, excitement.
he's just continuing to gloat, or well, I think it's the people they're praising him for what he did. They're just so grateful and thankful for him that you know, he hardened the Pharaoh's heart again to go after him. So I mean, they only went after him because of Yahweh to begin with, but hey, he's not going to pass up on an opportunity to drown a bunch of people. That would be crazy. So he's having himself a good old time. You on mute?
I said, yeah, that would be crazy. And you got to really go out with a bang. Honestly, you got to kill more people. You got to drown them. And you got to make sure that those chariots, I think he has a thing with chariots. We haven't gotten up to the iron chariots yet.
Oh,
But he seems.
don't go there. Don't go there.
Okay.
Well, do you have another bad dream, God? Did you dream about some iron chariots?
Dream. I know. What's wrong, God? You're gonna be okay. I believe in you. I feel like he needs counseling, actually, of anything else. The enemy said, I will pursue. I will overtake. I will divide the spoil. My lust shall be satisfied. I will draw my sword. My hand shall destroy them. Thou didst blow thy wind. The sea covered them. They sank as led in the mighty waters. You drown people by blowing your wind. Okay.
The wind of God.
You gotta drown people by blowing in wind. Woohoo! Who is like thee, O Lord among the gods? Who is like thee, glorious in holiness, fearful in praises, doing what we're going to call wonders? Who is like you among the gods?
That's one of my verses that I. Yeah,
that's very true.
That's one of the ones I hit Smokey with for
among
showing
the
that
gods.
that they were polytheist at this point. They fully believed that there were more than one, that there were other gods aside from Yahweh, and he didn't argue with them.
It was just he was the God of the Israelites.
He's just more badass than your gods. He'll kill more people than your gods will kill. Our God flooded the whole earth. What did your God do?
That's right. Gotta have a little bit of flooding. And okay, Sam, I sent you a text for the link for the StreamYard, and eventually that same link will be in chat. But moving right along, having fun while you're killing people. Do. Okay.
So Yahweh, Hitler, Stalin, and Pol Pot walk into a bar.
Yeah. And they say, I wonder who killed more. Thou stretched out thy right hand. The earth swallowed them. You stretch out your right hand, and I'm jumping the gun. I'm reading the annotation for just this whole section. Okay. Thou stretch out thy right hand, the earth swallowed them. Thou in thy mercy has led forth the people which thou hast redeemed. Thou hast guided them in thy strength unto thy holy habitation. The people shall hear and be afraid. Sorrow shall take hold on the inhabitants of Palestinia. Sounds good. Then the dukes, the dukes are back. Then the dukes of Hazard and Edom shall be amazed. The mighty men of Moab or Dota, whichever you like to play, trembling shall take hold upon them. All the inhabitants of Canaanite shall melt away. Fear and dread shall fall upon them. By the greatness of thine army, thy shall be as still as a stone, till thy shall people pass over. O Lord Bob, till the people pass over, which thou hast purchased. Thou shalt bring them in and plant them in, and the mountain of thine inheritance in the place, O Lord Bob, which thou hast made for thee to dwell in the sanctuary, O Lord Bob, which thy hands have established. The Lord Bob shall reign forever and ever.
And ever, and ever.
And ever, and ever, and ever some more, and ever, and ever. Okay, you stretch out your right hand and make the earth swallow people.
Why not?
And Jamie says, where does James from MED live? I don't know.
I'm not sure exactly where in Colorado.
You'd probably get a good if he ever says where he's teaching. I don't know if he ever does, but that's probably.
I've never heard him say it.
Okay.
Oh, and wow.
So we that was a whole chunk. For the horse of Pharaoh Bling Bling.
Wait, did you skip? Did you skip? Go back up for a second.
No. I don't think so. Wasn't that the whole thing? It 15. Was just a long thing.
15.
Oh, did I mean? Oh, I got so excited for the Dukes. Okay.
Yeah, Dukes.
Then the Dukes. I'm sorry, my Dukes. Then the Dukes of Edom shall be amazed. Didn't I read? The mighty men, either way,
you did, yeah.
Of Moab, trembling shall take hold upon them. All the inhabitants of Canaanite shall melt away.
Well, it's good. It's finally good to get to see the Dukes again because they were from Genesis. We haven't heard from any of them in like forever.
Exactly. It's always good to have a family reunion. And if you have any more questions or comments you want read on screen specifically, tag me at Amy Newman.
I think we're back on 20.
20 forever and ever. Okay, dry land for the blah, blah, blah. For the horse of Pharaoh. Yeah, he went in on those chariots. Okay, and Miriam, the prophetess. Oh, goody! At least we got a prophetess for once. Never heard of us. The sister of Aaron Ra. Well, that makes sense at least. Took a timber, whatever, in her hand, and all the women went out after her with timbrels and with dances. Aaron's
timber rattlesnakes.
Aaron's sister Miriam, the prophetess, took a timbrel in her hand, danced with all the Israelite women.
Why not?
Had a good time. Why not? And Miriam answered them, sing ye to the Lord Bob, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea.
Yeah, we remember. We remember. You just did it.
You just did it. Over there. It was like 100 feet. We remember. They sang. God had triumphed gloriously by throwing horse and rider into the sea. We were right there. We have eyes.
That's like the guy in the debate, like the last part of the debate, saying how he crushed them and he owned them, destroyed them.
Yes. Except once again, it's like doing that, but with your Sims character. You're gonna win. We get it because you're you're one of the gods. There you go.
The waters.
And go check out all of those awesome channels. And we are moving down to the waters. I like my big glass of water. I can't help it. The waters of Mara. All right. We're having fun. You can't help but have a little bit of fun. A little bit of fun because I like using the Bible as a science text. That's how I like my science, right in there. Okay.
Well, I mean, Amy, were you there? So who knows more, God or the scientists? Were you there?
Are you there? I guess not. Were you drinking water when you were there? The waters of Mara. So Charlton Heston brought Israel Shmishmael from the Red Sea, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur. Shur. They were Shur. And they went 3 days in the wilderness of RuneScape and found no water. Noobs. Excuse me.
I mean, that sounds like a logical thing to do. You know, you see some wilderness. Hey, let's just go out into that wilderness. Why not? What could go wrong?
Nothing.
Everybody loves.
It'll be fine.
To just dart out into the wilderness just for shits and giggles.
Just for shits and giggles. Okay. And when they came to Mara, they could not drink the waters of Mara, for they were bitter. Therefore, the name of it was called Mara. Okay.
Yeah, it's like that big city tap water. It just has that funky sulfur smell to it.
A little bit of a smell. It'll be fine. Just we have taps out here. We have pure.
Flint, Michigan, like their water.
Flint, Michigan, exactly. It'll be fine. Hopefully, did they take? I'm not getting into politics. No. I love everyone. Para-adventure. Murmured. We're getting into married. And the people murmured against Moses, saying, "What shall we drink?"
Drink your tears.
Cough again, so I'm going to drink 1 second.
What shall we drink? Drink your tears. Why are you coming to me with your problems? What shall we drink? I don't know. Figure it out.
Look, losers. I got you out of Egypt. The rest is your problem.
You expect me to bring you food and water like a fucking dog? Go out and find some.
Go out and find it. You'll be fine. I can't.
Or now, if you want me to send you water, if you really want that, I will do that. I'll fucking send you water.
Yeah, well, it'd be nice to have. You know what's funny? I think there's a Muslim story about water. It's the only. I don't know if it's actually in the Quran. I just know that Dave Chappelle tells the story of the Zamzam miracle.
But Yahweh is probably the last being in existence you would want to ask for water, giving his history with it.
Yeah. But I'm always interested in the types of miracles, the range of miracles. I was just listening to a Patton Oswalt bit, which I really want to share, but maybe we'll watch it one time, where he was just like, it's just kind of a little bit random that it's like you have like the necromancy over here and you have like the multiplying fishes over here. It just seems like a little bit you're merging superpowers a little bit. He was like, that probably got, there was probably like Sandwich Dude, but he got cut. And so it just gave those powers to Jesus.
25, right?
25. And he cried unto the Lord, And the Lord Bob shewed him a tree, which when he had cast into the waters were made sweet.
Oh, it purified the water. Okay.
Purified the water. There he made for them a statute for an ordinance, and there he proved them. Moses cried to God, and God showed him a tree that were thrown in the water, made the water sweet. I mean, so basically God gave them a Mio, right? Or a crystal light. This is that version.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
All right, see? Why do we need
Biblical water purification.
There you go. But not just water purification. This is crystal light. This is a Mio. This is giving flavor. This isn't just purifying the water. These are like, hey, let's make the water taste good. And said, I still can't get over that God said that I am a God of war. It's the things I learned by actually reading the Bible. Okay. And said, if thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord, thy God, and wilt do that which is right in his sight, boom, boom, baby, and will give ear to his commandments. I can't imagine there's going to be many commandments, though, so that'll be fine. I feel like it's going to be a short list.
It'll only be like the important.
I feel like it'll be like 3, maybe 4.
Yeah.
I feel like you can't get much more than how many? Okay. All of his statutes. I will put none of these diseases upon thee, which I have brought upon the New Yorkians. How nice of you. For I am the Lord Bob, that healeth thee. Yeah, I'm a healer, guys. I changed to priest. I was a warrior, now I'm a priest. I swear. It was a class change. And
he's a nurse.
He's a nurse. Nurse Yahweh. And they came to Elim, where we were 12 wells of water. And 77 years ago. No. And 10 palm trees, just as random. And they encamped there by the waters. God said, if you obey all my commandments, I won't make you sick, like I did the Egyptians. Yeah. Oh, how nice of him.
I mean, that's like Yahweh coming up to you and beating you with a baseball bat. And then after he's done beating you, he kind of helps you out a little bit. Then let me bandage you up.
It is consistently, I won't beat you. I won't kill you. I might beat you a little bit, but hey, I'm not killing you. Hey.
Not yet.
As long as you follow his laws, you're going to be fine. And okay, the book of Exodus, chapter 15. Woo, hoo, hoo. So what do you think, James? We're moving along.
The Song of Moses. The Song of Moses.
Sang a song.
We became a musical.
We became
it's like the Sound of Music, but much more somber.
Ba, ba, ba. Everybody died.
The shit these kids listen to nowadays. I feel like the older Israelis on the thing were probably pissed at the song. It probably wasn't, what they wanted to listen to. It was probably too
loud. It was probably, when I say it was rock and roll, I mean it was literally rolling rocks.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
So, yeah.
Huh.
All right.
Manna and the quails.
And quails. I'm going to assume that is the same manna that you use to play Magic the Gathering and her sidekick. Who knows? Let's find out. All right.
Absurdity.
Don't worry, everybody. It's going to be a fun, happy chapter. We're going to have a good laugh because everybody loves having a good time when it's unjust. Who wants to be just? That's boring. Boring.
No fun.
No fun. And while you're being unjust, you got to be a little intolerant, right? It's okay. You got to be intolerant. He'll be fine. He'll be good. But while we're being unjust and intolerant, we're going to keep on trying to fit. Ooh, excuse me. That Gatorade. We're going to keep on trying to fit that Bible right
Wait. Oh. Hold on. Ah.
Well, I mean, hopefully, when academia gets their head out of their ass, they'll stop teaching genetics, and then they'll just teach the genetics from Genesis. Remember the thing with the goats and the sticks and all that? That's really how genetics works.
That's how exactly you gotta have those goats. I forget what the exact. They were making them stare at stuff, right?
No, like they put sticks in the ground where the goats would copulate, and it was supposed to make the goats have stripes. Like the pattern would get
Okay.
of the
Biblical
sticks
genetics.
would be implanted onto the baby goats that would be born.
Okay, and I'm sure the Christians can prove that, or Jews. Christians and Jews can prove that.
I'm sure it worked. I mean,
I'm sure it works. That's how it works. Isn't that how it works? That's how it works. Along with storks and manna and quillis.
DJ Qualls.
And they took their journey from Elm, and all the congregation of the children of Israel Smishmael came, oh baby, onto
The whole congregation.
wilderness. The whole congregation came at once over something good, hopefully. Came into the wilderness of sin.
A wilderness of sin.
That's what you. Speaking of wilderness of sin, I don't have it yet, but I've been waiting. This is another one of my brand new props. But as you can see here, I have a passport to hell, so I have mine all ready to go. It's fantastic.
Oh, so you're ready? You'll get
I'm
right
ready. Hell hasn't been created yet, but once it's there, once it's ready, I got my passport to hell. I'm ready. Got all my credentials sorted out.
Praise God.
I'm excited. Praise God. Praise Jesus. Okay. Manna and Quillis, the wilderness of sin. And they took their journey from Elam, and all the congregation of Israel came unto the wilderness of sin. Oh, baby. Which is between Elam and Sinal. Hey, whatever's between them, whatever you want to call it. On the 15th day of the second month after their departing out of the land of Egypt. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel and Ishmael murmured against Charlton Heston and Aaron Ra in the wilderness. Oh, come on. You guys are going to come after Aaron now? Come on now. And the children of Israel and Ishmael said unto them, would to God we had died by the hand of the Lord Bob in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots.
Fleshlights?
And okay, this is getting a little Zelda for me. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, there's like a mix between like sex toy and Zelda pots going on here, but okay. Reminds me of that hand sticking out. Okay. And when we did, he eat bread. Good for him. To the full. For ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. Excuse me, what? The Israelites enter the wilderness of sin, which sounds like a fun time to me. I don't know about you.
A fun place, yeah.
I think I've went to the wilderness of sin before. I think they call it what is it? San Francisco. And complain, woohoo, baby. And complain to Charlton Heston and Aaron Ra about the lack of food. Or do something about it. Maybe first of all, get out of a desert. Or step 2, I don't know, grow something, do something.
I mean, they were fucking thirsty, so they were groaning and belly aching about that. Now I guess they're hungry. They expect God to feed them.
They should pray about it. Or just, I don't know how they communicate with this God, really. God every once in a while pops up. Okay.
I mean, God just forgot that he was sending them to a place where there wasn't, a adequate food supply. He just kind of skipped his mind. He didn't realize that.
Whoopsie. Look.
Oh, there's nothing there to eat. What are we going to do?
Just because you're all powerful doesn't mean you're all not forgetful, okay?
Send in Smokey Saint.
Send in Smokey. Send in the apologists. Come on board. And you're going to soon, because this will be our final chapter before we open up the floodgates. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Israel said unto them, Would to God we had died by the hands of the Lord Bob in the land of New York, when we set up. Oh, it's the flesh pots. I did read that, I think.
Yeah.
Sometimes hard. Then said the Lord unto Charlton Heston, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you. Holy shit, he's going to let them eat bread? That's the
Raining bread.
Forget the miracles. The fact that he's got over his leavened bread fetish is the really important thing here.
What's that song? I never heard the song. I've heard It's Raining Men, but I've never heard It's Raining
bread.
Hallelujah, it's raining bread. Gay men.
What would be really funny if he made it rain bread, and then he's like, you can't eat that. No eating bread. No, only
it's like the forbidden fruit.
Yeah. And
they've got it piled up everywhere. Can't eat it.
But
they'll kill them.
But it's carbs and food waste. Think about people in that term that we don't use yet, like third. Okay. Certain rate every day, that I may prove them, whether they walk in the law or not. God said to Moses, I'll rain bread from heaven for you. Every day the people will go out and gather it, and we'll see if they obey me or not. On the sixth day...
Doesn't he already know whether they're going to obey him or not?
I don't know. You would think so, but he seems to be missing a lot of information.
Yeah, he's not sure.
Also, hey, Blaster Master, how are you? All right, we were on 6? 5.
Yes, 5.
And it shall come to pass, like a kidney stone, that on the 6th day they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as nice, as much as they gather daily. On the 6th day.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever, dude.
He's gonna send them double on the 6th day because they can't pick it up on Saturday. There you go.
See, it's making
on the Sabbath.
You can't do it on the Sabbath. He will kill you.
Brilliant, God.
He's
got all his bases covered. Let me tell you something. God does not forget to cross the T or dot an I. He's got all that shit covered.
Okay. On the 6th day, there'll be twice as much bread as they gathered on previous days. Cool. And Charlton Heston and Aaron Ra said unto all the children of Ishmael, At even then ye shall know that the Lord hath brought you out from the land of New York. And in the morning, I know.
He just did it.
You keep on doing miracles and talking to us. You don't need to. In fact, if Yahweh did half of the shit that he does in our stories, we would believe he exists. I don't know if I'd worship him, but if Yahweh was out doing shit, it would be you would almost be delusional to deny him if he was out there in the field, or at least that he existed. I don't know about worshipped or an actual God, but
if you went outside and you saw loaves of bread raining from the sky, yeah.
And and James, do you know what mechanism God uses to get all of the bread? It's magic. Do. Magic. Phenomena.
I mean, God was probably thinking God's thinking like, what can I do? What can I do? Let's see. What have I not done yet? I know what I haven't done yet. I haven't rained bread down.
Hearts to Blaster Master and Irish Demon and everyone in chat and especially Armand. Okay. Well, we're moving on along, and in the morning, okay.
7, right?
And Moses, did I actually finish 6?
You did, yeah. 'cause he
And
brought-
I did have brought
Yeah.
you out from the land of Egypt.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And in the morning, then ye shall see the glory. The glory hole, or just the glory? Okay, no. Just the glory, just glory. Glory of the Lord, for that he heareth your murmurings against the Lord. And what are we? That ye murmur against us? Moses and Aaron said to the people, this evening you'll know what God has brought. Why? This evening you'll know that God has brought you out of Egypt. We already know. We're already out of it. And in the morning you'll see the glory of the Lord because he's heard your complaints against him. Well, I'm glad he has a PR or an HR department.
Moses is gonna say, you want a bitch? You know where the complaint department's at? And then he just points to the bottom of the Red Sea. That's where the complaint department is. Go down there and fill out a complaint form.
Exactly. And Moses, this shall be when the Lord Bob shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full, for that the Lord Bob heareth your murmurings which you murmur. What's with the murmurings? Against him. And what are we, chopped liver? Your murmurings are not against us, but against the Lord Bob. Moses added, God will give you flesh to eat in the evening and plenty of bread in the morning. God has heard
your flesh, Amy.
Fantastic. And once again, good to know he has a complaint department. And Charles,
the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right?
I guess so. And Charlton Heston spak unto Aaron Ra, Kinkius, say unto all the congregations of it, the children of Israel Shmishmael, come near before the Lord, for he hath heard your murmurings. Moses said to Aaron, tell the people to come near God. Just near, or
okay. Not on his face. He
yeah. I was just exactly. Surprise me. That's what he's saying. Because he has heard their complaints. And it came to pass, as Aaron Ra spake unto the whole congregation of the children of Israel Shmishmael, that they looked towards the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord Bob appeared in the cloud. Hey, now they're just turning.
Glory holes in the cloud?
Well, that too. I was going to say, now they're making the stereotype. A lot of the Christians or theists in general are like, hey, he's not a guy in the clouds. Well, right now he is. He apparently is a guy in the clouds.
Because at that time, the clouds might as well have been as far away as Jupiter.
Exactly. We're never going to get past the clouds. That's the
No, never.
Never. And the Lord Bob spake unto Moses, saying, I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel spake unto them, saying, at even ye shall eat flesh, and in the morning ye shall be filled with bread, and ye shall know that I am the Lord Bob, your God.
I want to make sure you know that. You need to know that.
Absolute sure.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Are you double sure, triple sure?
I'm a man of war. Listen, you better be damn sure.
You better be damn sure. And I've heard the murmurings. Okay, speak. And God said to Moses, I've heard the people's complaints. Say to them, in the evening you'll eat fresh and refilled with bread. Okay. And it came to pass that even the quails came up and covered the camp. And in the morning the dew lay around about the host. The next evening quills covered the camp, and in the morning dew was on the ground. And when the dew that lay was gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lays a small brown thing. It's cold. It's cold, okay? As small as the hoar frost on the ground. After the
stupid
dew
horror energy.
Stupid hoar frost. Woohoo! Stupid horror energy. After the dew was gone, a small round thing was on the ground. It's just because it's cold. And when the children of Ishmael saw it, they said one to another, "It is manna." Specifically, I'm playing 3 forest manna. For the wist not what it was. And Charlton Heston said unto them, "This is bread, for the Lord have given you to eat."
It don't look like bread.
I'd be honest though, if a bunch of bread rained and like my God had this fetish about not eating leavened bread, I'd be kind of scared not to eat leavened bread. But whatever, I guess it rained bread. This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. Gather it of every man according to his eating, in omer for every man according to the number of your persons. Take ye every man for them which are in his tents. Oh, baby. When the people saw it, they said to one another, "This is manna," because they didn't know what it was. Moses said to them, "This is the bread God has given you to eat. God commands each man to gather an omer for each person in his tent."
Gather an Omar. Go ahead, do it.
Gather
an Omar.
And the children of Israel did so, and gathered some more, some less. And when they did meet it, and with an omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating. And the people did that, more or less. Oh, good. Good to know. Thank you. And Charlton Heston said, "Let no man leave it till the morning." Notwithstanding, they hearken not unto Charlton Heston, but some of them left of it until the morning, and it bred worms and stank. Oh, sure, okay, now we got to get to the bad part. And Charlton Heston was wroth with them, and they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. And when the sun waxed hot, they were like, "You guys want to have a beach party?" It melted.
Yeah, it happens like an ice cream cone.
It happens. Womp womp. And it came to pass. We're passing so many stones right now. I'm sorry. Get some ice. Get some ice. It's going to feel better. Then on the 6th day, they gathered twice as much bread. Goody. 2 armos for 1 man. And the rulers of the congregation came, and they told the big M man right here, Charlton Heston. Moses said
the rulers.
The rulers. I will rule over. Moses said to the people, "Don't leave until the morning," but some people did, and it bred worms and stank, which made Moses angry. And he said unto them, "This is that which the Lord hath said. Tomorrow, maybe tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath." Oh, good to know. Thank you. On to the Lord Bob. Get baked a little bit, you'll be fine. That which ye bake to the day, and seethe ye will seethe. Oh, baby, seethe. And that which remaineth overlay up for you to be kept into the morning. Moses said to them, "This is what God says. Don't gather the bread on the Sabbath." Okay. I love this, though. God basically has Zoom. I wish he was this communicative 2,000 or 3,000 years later, or whenever this took place. And they lay, whenever the Jews wrote it. And they laid up until the morning, as Charlton Heston. Oh, I know that. And it did stink, neither was there any worm therein. But speaking of being absolutely beautiful, we'll give Sam a second to adjust, and we're going to bring her back in. There any worm therein? And Charlton Heston said, "Eat that today, for today is a Sabbath unto the Lord. Today ye shall not find it in the field. 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, it is in there, shall be none. The people did as Moses and God said, and the bread didn't stink or have any worms in it. Oh, so they listened and it stopped stinking. There you go.
Yeah, God's bread doesn't last very long.
God's
It goes
bread
bad the
doesn't-
next day. And you can't expect God to do that 7 days a week. He's got to take a day off. So
Exactly. You got to rest every once in a while. And okay.
it's part of his contract, his union contract.
Sam, how are you doing tonight? We are midnight ranting, Ubering across the Red Sea. It's nice. We got the triple threat tonight. We got all 3 hosts, and we're gonna read the rest of this, and then probably open the floodgates. But how are you tonight, Sam?
I had some coffee at work, so I can't go to sleep. But I'm still tired, and I didn't even have a shot. I didn't even have a shot of whiskey. I still have the rest of it lying out there, so I don't know.
Well,
That's
go finish
okay.
it.
Go get that other shot. Unless you think it'll make good influence either way.
I know I can't fall asleep, so I should probably do some shit. I gotta start packing soon, and before I do that, there's a bunch of clothes I have to fix and wash. But I'm very tired, so I'm in limbo.
That's okay. Don't worry, there's no limbo created yet. We'll get you out. Actually, I don't even know if limbo is an actual biblical concept.
It's not directly spelled out, but it's they get there a roundabout way.
What were you gonna say, Sam?
Catholicism came up with that shit, and Catholicism adopted a bunch of pagan ideas.
Well, all Christianity did. They just had it was a way to solve a couple of verses that didn't seem to make sense without
Blaster Master sending you some loves. And we got the awesome Randolph Richardson's in the house. I've heard that breaking bread is more polite than breaking wind. Hey, in Yahweh's house, we would take it. We would take it. And okay, we're moving down. So 6 days ye shall gather. And it came to pass. We're getting things past. More stones. It's getting out of our system. We got this. That there went out some of the people on the 7th day for to gather, and they found none.
Uh-oh.
Some of the people gathered on the 7th day, but they found nothing. Well, I'm so sorry. And the Lord Bob said unto Charlton Heston, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? See, for the Lord hath given you the Sabbath. Therefore he give you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Oh, that's nice. It's like a coupon or like a special. On this day you get double bread. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, I like all you can eat breadsticks, but this is 3,000 years ago. We're going to cut some slack. Okay. 6th day of the bread. Bid every man in his place. Let no man go out on his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. God said to Moses, how long will you ignore my commandments? Did God give commandments yet? I
just
feel
the
like
Sabbath.
God, just the Sabbath. Okay.
Yeah, that's
on the 6th day. So there was one commandment and they blew it. Why is he making commandments anyway?
There were other commandments.
I thought we already went past. Oh wait, no, we haven't. Didn't we already talk about the commandments? You even made the joke from History of the World one.
No, see, we're not. He's about to. Spoilers, though it's been out for a while, so I feel like I'll still give the warning. But we're about to get to like the top, the known or the famous, the pop culture top 10 list. But then we're gonna travel up the the excitement of the lesser known 600 commandments that people try to ignore but are kind of in
And
there.
we've already gotten through a
So
few of
it's
them.
kind
A
of
lot
like
of
the
them are very
American
vague, but
Constitution. The first 10 amendments or commandments is the Bill of Rights. And then
kinda
you got
in
a
a
shit ton
way.
of
Kinda.
others.
It's like the 10 are the famous one because people we love their lists. People love lists. And then you like a top 10 list. But then a top 600, it doesn't quite have the same ring.
So you
So
need a whole magazine for that, like a Fortune 500.
you need a whole Bible for that. But that's
But
okay. We're getting there.
it is very important to God that they not do anything on that damn Sabbath. It's yeah,
Bible is dribble.
very
The
important
Bible
to it.
dribble.
So
Not the Canadian though. Mhm.
if you forget to gather up food on Friday night, oh well, you're not eating. Sorry.
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 Sucks to be you. Okay, so which number were we on?
Uh,
I think we're getting the commandments.
30.
We're
I think
moving in
30.
there. 30. Did I say it by? Yes, I did. Okay. So the people rested on the seventh day. Oh, just like chapter 1. And the house of Israel Shmishmael called the name thereof Phares Manachard. And it was like coriander, seed, white, and the taste of it was like wafers made of honey. It was getting a little Pornhubby for a second, but whatever. So the people rested on the seventh day. And Charlton Heston said, "This is the thing which the Lord Bob commandeth. Fill in Omar of it to be kept for your generations, that they may see the bread wherewith I have fed you in the wilderness when I brought you forth from the lands of New York."
In case you forgot, I got you guys out of New York.
In case you forgot. Exactly.
In case you guys forgot about that, yeah.
In case
That
you
was
forgot.
me. That was me.
Me.
But the Jews returned to New York. So what is the point of leaving?
I know. To get a really good bagel, I would say. And oh, that just makes me want a bagel.
Well,
Okay.
God got him out of there. Now he wants them to just wander around the wilderness.
Wander
no
around
food or
once
water.
again for 40 years, which is a long time back then. That is an entire person's lifetime.
Yeah, funny how you go from 600 years to like 40 years.
Oh, but Sam, didn't you know that our genes are degrading and we're devolving? Or well, I can't even do the apology. Trying to strongman it, but I lost it at the end.
Soon.
So Moses
I don't
lives
know.
for like how many hundreds, and then all the Israelites he saved, because they fucked around at the base of Mount Sinai, gotta die off in 40.
Yeah, we haven't got to that part yet.
Yeah.
But actually,
getting
soon
there.
we'll be getting into Ken Hovind round 2, the second seminar, which is the Garden of Eden. And I think in that one, he's going to explain to you why they lived to be 600 or 900 years and why that had to go down. And, you know.
It all makes sense. Honestly, James, if you just don't think about it, it makes a lot of sense. All right. And so, we on 32?
33, I think.
33?
Yeah.
And Charlton Heston said unto Aaron Raw, take a pot, an ounce
Take
or
a
two.
pot.
Take some pot.
Get a pot. Yeah.
Or a pot filled with pot. And put an Omar full of manna cards there within, and lay it up before the Lord Bob, to be kept for your generations. And the Lord Bob commanded Charlton Heston, so Aaron Raw laid it up before the testimony. Lay it up, baby, to be kept. So
Why they did that, I don't know. Doesn't make any sense, but they just did. Put
I
some
didn't
manna
know
in a pot.
Omar was a container.
Yeah, it's a good. We got Omar's. I'm not sure. Is an Omar a container?
No, Omar's a dude's name.
Not to God.
Not to
I
God.
I smoked with Omar and fucking last month or back in December. Jeez, I gotta
There
hang out
you
with him
go.
again.
And the children of Ishmael did eat manna cards for 40 years until they came to a land inhabited. They did eat manna cards until they came unto the borders of the land of, can I not? Now in Omar, in the 10th part of an epic.
You imagine
Oh
eating the
man.
same thing every day for 40 years?
Well, not if
No.
you use food coloring and put a different little elemental stamp on each mana.
Uh,
So you're
maybe.
literally like eating mana cards
Every
made
day
of
eating
bread.
the same thing for 40 years.
But see, if you could use different food coloring, they'll think it tastes differently.
Imagine that, Amy. You open up a menu and like 30 pages long, but it only has one word on the page: mana, 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 mana.
That would be kind of funny, actually. 1 minute.
It's like
And
when you
okay.
it's like when your TV would show like the same thing on every channel back in the 90s with the analog TV. It would do that once in a while.
Yeah, I miss that. I miss the big box, and now everything's getting thin. Thin, baby.
I got one of those with the dials on it. It's great.
See, there we go. I'm thinking of an Omar.
Aren't we
Woohoo!
all, Answer? Aren't we all?
And okay, with that,
It's
we
raining
are going
bread.
to be switching into our woohoo and good timing. 2 hours. That was actually fantastic. So we're going to be switching into the open mic format, unleashing the hounds. And okay, I'm going to be sending that link into chat. So what do you guys think, and Sam, even of the past few, or just this chapter? Say the past few sections.
I'll say it was nice to get to hear from the
Origin?
Dukes again. We hadn't heard about them in a while. So the
The
Bible
Dukes of
centered us
Hazzard?
again with that. Yes, yeah, they made an appearance again. We hadn't seen them in
Exactly.
since like the latter half of Genesis, but here they are again.
Them boys are at it again.
It rained bread, like it's raining men, but with bread. Hallelujah.
It's raining bread. Hallelujah. It's raining bread. And we couldn't eat any.
And Ken Hovind, he's got a joke he likes to do on the Red Sea, and so he would say, hey, like when where the waters parted, like where the edge where the water was standing up like a wall, you think any fish like flopped their way out of the water and into the dry ground? And then he's like, now they picked them up and took them with them because they're Jewish, right? They're Jews. They're Jews. Of course they picked it up and took it with them.
Of course.
Of course.
And okay, we're going to bring in the lovely, the amazing, the awesome
Don't do it.
Randolph Richardson. We are having a midnight ranting. We have been Ubering across the Red Sea. I don't know how we got signals, but we somehow were able to get there. How are you doing tonight,
Let me
and
tell
what are your
you.
thoughts?
Yahweh has a 10-star rating on Uber. 10 stars.
Ubering
Never
around. Well,
yeah.
Ubering around. Well, that sounds uplifting. I don't know why I'm full screen. It wasn't that funny.
Amy
I think.
did it.
Oh no, I was gonna. I guess it doesn't fit, as well for openings for the Bible study. So I was just your thoughts in general. I won't full screen it, but what are your thoughts on any of the Red Sea closing or any of this stuff?
Well, the Red Sea opening, first of all, I guess
Or
that's
opening.
Moses' handiwork, right?
Yeah, it seems like
Stretched
a
out his
buddy
rod.
job.
I remember seeing a cartoon many years ago of Moses there for bath time, driving his parents mad because he didn't like the water. He was always splitting the bath open, so they couldn't get him wet. So yeah, it's these are obviously unrealistic stories. It's just somebody's making stuff up, I think, and
They have a wild imagination, to say the least.
yeah, I wonder what this story was plagiarized from, or is it actually something that was created? Because a lot of stuff in the Bible is plagiarized, as I understand it.
Oh yeah, like they would take a story and from another culture and change a few things, but most of it would be the same.
I'm worried that I'm so boring, I've caused one of your participants to start falling asleep here.
Oh, she was half asleep already.
Oh, it's
Sam,
not my fault. Okay.
Both Sam and James get off late at work, and so that's why we have these fantastic midnight rantings. But eventually, we're going to do more daytime content too.
I just finished some renovations. I've got the south wall mostly framed, and it's going to have a window in it. So that's
That's the studio.
Yep, that's for the studio for Turner Dock. So looking forward to that.
And I think I saw you building that.
Yeah, earlier
Yeah,
on the stream. Yeah.
Yeah,
on,
took us out
and then the stream closed down. So that was B's stream, but yeah.
Oh my god, how much did I pour? Fuck it.
Okay, we'll do it live. Okay.
I hope you didn't drink too much.
Where's Godless Girl when you need her?
I only had a sip of whiskey, and but I didn't realize how much I fucking poured in the glass. Jesus.
I hope it's not like dangerously high levels of alcohol you've drank. If it is, you might want to call poison control.
It's just Jim Beam.
Oh, it's just Jim Beam then.
Well, it could be serious if she's had too much.
What? No, I didn't have any alcohol today except when I came home.
Oh, okay. The way you were talking, I was getting worried about you there. I don't even know yet. I'm worried about you.
Don't drink.
I thought I would be up late because I had some coffee and at work, and it keeps me up. But when I got home, I'm tired anyway.
And that's okay.
I can't drink coffee. I don't like the taste, and it puts me to sleep. I'm one of those people who falls asleep from it.
Yeah. Do you have ADD or ADHD?
Sam?
No, you. That's towards you.
I don't have that. No.
No? Oh, really? Because I have that. I have that, and uppers or anything like that makes me very calm. And so I don't take any of that stuff. I used to be on high school. No, see, because it all makes me so I can drink coffee and I can go to sleep. Sometimes it gives me a boost, but a lot of times I can drink coffee and just fall asleep.
I can. I'm just desensitized to it. You know?
But me and my kids find heavy metal music quite calming. I'm serious, but my wife says this is too crazy.
Woohoo!
So they got this from me.
Randolph Richardson, the metalhead. I like to picture that.
I don't listen too much, but yeah.
Every once in a while, you got to hear somebody screaming into the microphone. Yep. Why not?
And okay, we'll go back
in traffic. I'll roll down the windows and I'll blast it just for the heck of it.
And okay, we'll go back into open conversation in a second. We are midnight.
Oh,
I want to know what was in
it's the
Sam's
Skeptic.
coffee.
I have it midnight ranting, but it's supposed to be Skeptic Bible
What
study.
is in Sam's coffee?
I don't know. But we will go back to open conversation in a second. So I'm going to be adding in Tobin. Tobin, how are you? We are actually Skeptic Bible studying. We are Ubering across the Red Sea. I'm going to fix that while you are talking. How are you tonight? And what are your thoughts on anything we have been reading?
God appreciates the tip if you want to give him a tip on the app. He'll take it.
Yeah, y'all are at one of those very popular parts in the Bible, you know, where he split the Red Sea and drowned out the pharaohs. Yeah, there's some crazy stuff going in there. Definitely lots to point out.
And then he gloats about it. He keeps going back to it to remind himself of what he did. Over and over again. And again.
And again,
And
and
again.
again.
Yeah.
And he has to harden people's hearts again and again and again.
So, Amy, did I tell you about that time I drowned all those Egyptians in the Red Sea? You remember that? Yes, it was 5 minutes ago, God. It was 5 fucking minutes ago.
Great times, you know?
But seriously, I really did drown them all.
I'll bet you did, God. I'll bet you did.
Yeah, it's small potatoes for a guy who flooded the whole earth just a few, maybe
I
10
like
chapters
potatoes.
ago.
I like hot, fluffy potatoes with a little salt, maybe. I like potatoes.
So we got our
Potatoes, boil
introduction to
them,
this.
bake them, boil in a stew. I can't even do the quote. Boil them, bake 'em, mash
Oh,
them, put them in a stew.
Sunico.
Boil them, mash them, put them in a stew. There we go. Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Sunico.
Sounds like a good plan.
We were introduced to the
Did
Sabbath.
you just say Sunico? That is Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings, but probably
Oh.
Sunico too.
Sunico used to say that.
That also probably makes sense.
Yeah, she would call me Samwise sometimes.
And okay, so I don't know why speaking of Samways, but Donald probably loves Lord of the Rings. We are Skeptic Bible studying. We are Ubering across the Red Sea. Come on in, guys. We're getting over the Red Sea. Woohoo! Donald, how are you tonight, and what are your thoughts?
Hey, Donald.
Well, what are my thoughts? That would take a way longer time than I'm sure I have
that's a
here.
loaded question, Amy.
But
Or bad choice of
about
words.
the manna from heaven thing. It was snow. Okay, I mean somehow they managed to get far enough into the colder climate. I mean, it was snow. I mean, you look at the description of it. That's all it was. It was snow. You bring it indoors, it melts. You can't keep it very long indoors where humans are warming up the air. So they ate dirty snow.
Just don't eat the yellow snow.
Sounds fun.
Yeah,
just
they
don't eat the
ate
yellow
dirty snow. They scooped up the snow from the ground and they ate it. And if they left it sitting in a bucket or something, when they woke up in the morning, it was melted and they could see all the dirt that was in it.
Buckets of manna.
Yeah, just scrape that up and fry that in a pan.
It's not exactly healthy food, but if you're starving to death, it's sustenance of a sort.
Listen, Yahweh is not, his cookbook is not anything you want to get too acquainted with because he's got some wonderful entries in there.
But I mean, that's
Jesus.
If the story is true at all, I mean, that's an indication of just how lost they were. They started out in the hot desert. They ended up where it snows and then wandered their way back into the hot desert.
They climbed up a mountain. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, they come to a wilderness.
Maybe they just somehow went that far north. Nobody knows, but one way or the other, yeah, they ended up where it snows, and they're like, we don't know what this stuff is, so we'll just call it magic. I mean, that's all manna means, magic bread.
Yeah.
Magic from heaven. We'll just eat this magic that landed on the ground. And don't keep it indoors too long; it melts.
Let's go into the wilderness. What could go wrong?
And yeah, if you find yellow manna from heaven, that's not another natural flavor. That's tainted. Leave it there.
Golden manna. It's golden manna.
Golden manna from heaven. Yeah, that's the one.
Golden manna from heaven. Unless, like I said, you need to turn those magic cards sometimes. You got to make them active. And God just loves to play magic. It's all about it.
Yeah, take a tree and throw it into the water. Why not?
You'll be fine. Exactly. Snow.
Cut a tree down, throw it in there. It'll be fine.
It doesn't grow worms except maybe in Dune.
There you go. That's true. In Dune, it grows very,
Yes.
very big worms.
The desert worms get very, very, very large in Dune. Yes.
And there's a new Dune movie coming
You
out.
just hunt the desert worms, and then you got food for the family.
And for anybody who watches this and doesn't know the reference, it's a sci-fi reference. If
Well,
you
there's
look it up.
a new Dune
It makes
movie
me
coming
think
out.
of Trimmers.
That's from the
Dune.
80s.
It's a story.
That's
it's a
from the
movie.
80s,
It's I don't
right?
know what else it is, but yeah, Dune is a
Yeah,
bunch
it
of.
is.
It's a whole sci-fi environment.
The
Kinda like
interesting
Star Trek.
thing. The interesting thing about Dune is that it has loosely to do with AI, which I had no idea. But the whole thing about Dune is it takes place in the future at a time where there seems to have been a war between an artificial intelligence and humanity. And so now they have rules. They've created a new Bible. I think it's called the Orange Bible or something. And the first commandment in the Orange Bible is thou shalt not make any machine like a human. And so it's very interesting. So yeah.
Like, wow, it's just one restriction after another.
Yes.
No respect for people's freedoms at all.
Well, I mean, the most famous work of fiction that we have in this world has affected a lot of other works of fiction. So, you can expect some knockoffs of the Ten Commandments and various works of fiction.
Are any of you familiar with a television show called Moral Oral?
Yes.
There are lost commandments featured in that show. And
Lost
it's
ones, huh?
worth looking up. Moral Oral, Lost Commandments. They're hilarious. The whole show is fantastic.
So that's on top of the commandments that are not lost but are hardly known.
Yep.
Okay.
They made a bunch of them. They're hilarious.
That's what I figured.
I just typed in the private chat, so you can easily copy and paste that into Google. You'll find.
The thing is, the Bible was written and compiled by humans, so any human could edit it and add their own commandments and publish their own Bible. I mean, what's the difference between one human doing it and another human doing it?
Exactly.
I mean, you could take out whatever stuff you don't like, add in whatever stuff you thought should have been there, completely dismantle it if you feel like it. Print the whole thing in reverse, chapter for chapter in reverse, word for word in reverse, or even letter for letter in reverse, and still
kind of what happened in the New Testament.
Public domain.
Yeah, it's kind of what happened in the New Testament, where the fiction writers decided to write a story about Jesus so they could change a few things they didn't like from the Old Testament, kind of modernize a little bit, make things not so bad.
Yeah, and the Quran is of course the third part of that trilogy, and which would make Muhammad the Holy Ghost.
Oh, Will Stewart is here. Yeah, we had that debate a while ago. That was very nice exchange.
That would be the third part of the trilogy.
I really do, because whenever I ask
Will, I've been on different channels here and there.
I don't get a straight answer.
What answer to what?
I said I like that explanation because whenever I ask who the hell the Holy Ghost is, I don't get a straight answer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Apparently it's Muhammad, because he's the third star of the trilogy.
And specifically
so he must be the
Muhammad
third star of the
Ali,
Trinity.
because he was just such a good boxer that now we worship him.
The Holy Ghost.
And Muhammad,
they call him the
converted
Helper
to Islam.
in the New Testament.
What's that?
Ali converted to Islam, so yeah, that
He
makes
did.
sense.
I was just making that part up, but yes.
And he rode to heaven on a Pegasus.
Gotta get your unicorns. I always wanted a good unicorn. Ever since the unicorn market, the meat has just
All
not
right,
been the same.
Were there bad
Amy.
unicorns too?
Amy, what do you get when you cross a unicorn and a Pegasus?
Oh, what?
Well, about a quarter of the time you get a horse.
There you go. Just working genetics.
Yeah, I was about to say the whole pony fandom came up with a name just for that. And the only reason I know that is because of Sunico.
That's Mendelian genetics for you. Yeah, about a quarter of the time you get a horse.
Alien genetics.
And okay, we'll go back into open conversation in a second. Hello, Blaster Master. We have been Skeptic Bible studying. We've been ordering an Uber across the Red Sea. How are you, and what are your thoughts?
I'm giving the Uber 1 star.
Oh,
I understand.
Not at all. That's not
was that being generous?
Yeah, that's me being
star?
generous. Dude, God farted in the car.
Oh,
Very rude. Just very rude of him.
So it was blessed.
He sneezed and split the sea because he wasn't wearing a mask.
He was like, everyone loves the smell. And we were like, no, dude. He didn't believe us.
Yeah, well, you know how
How
people
dare
are with
he.
their religious beliefs. I mean,
Better to break the wind than break the sea, or is it better to break the sea than break the wind?
it's like,
No, I wonder-
everybody loves the smell of God's farts. I mean, you know, how could you ever convince anyone otherwise?
Yeah.
That's
They
also
believe-
He's,
weird to aspire to.
there,
There's like a
it's
little
a-
fart and there's a God fart.
yeah, it's
You know?
objectively true that God's farts smell good. I don't know.
According to whose opinion? God's?
God.
Oh, God damn it!
Yeah, he usually does.
See, it's all making sense now.
He
Yeah.
usually
Perfect
does
sense.
things.
I wonder how different the world would be today due to Christian influence if God was a goddess.
Well, the joke I was just listening to today with Georgie, you know, he says if there was a God, it would have to be a man because no woman would have things up this badly. And then, of course, all the women in the crowd cheered.
Oh, I'd be
Yeah.
cheering along with
You
them.
can't, yeah. But yeah, I mean, once again, we're going on God's world love tour of drowning and towning. Do 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 do. Everyone dies. Do 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 do. Good
I wonder-
times.
God conceived by men is subject to the flaws of men because they see nothing wrong with their thoughts and patterns.
I wonder if the manna metaphor was like they just like went to the town over and discovered like a really good recipe and brought it back and everyone was getting fat.
When I say manna, I just think matzah. And I dig matzah. I dig matzah.
Glad you
I
appreciate
mean,
That's
that,
good.
Pringle.
That's good. That's really good.
this awesome
And,
deli in New York, Amy, you got to try it out. It's called the 2nd Avenue Deli. It's actually on 33rd and 3rd, but that's a long story. Anyway, I had matzo ball soup and a Brooklyn Brewery beer. Anyway, that was years ago, but I'm sure it's still there. If we ever go to New York again, oh my God, I'll be a much better tour guide. I'll be a much better tour guide.
Hey,
Then I was
I'm up
last-
for New York. And just to say, I think James actually got summoned by Satan. Once again, I have my passport here, ready for hell. But he's
I
fighting.
need one of those.
I know, right? Got my paperwork already.
Is that the one in Denmark? Sorry, in Poland?
That
Are you
sounds
telling
like
me hell is in Poland? Probably.
that sounds like a shitty gang
Poland? Or
tattoo that you get in
Hang on, I'm gonna
calligraphy
look this
across your chest or your back. It's like
That
ready for
reminds
hell.
me. That reminds me. One
Ready
time
for
I was
it,
sitting in a library, you know, where everybody's trying to be quiet, and this guy was doodling on paper. And he drew up a dollar bill and he put a devil on it. And he wrote "devil dollar," and I handed the paper over to me, and I'm looking at it, and I start doodling on another paper, and I drew him this ticket that said ticket to heaven, admit one, and I wrote paid in full underneath and handed it back to him. We both fell off our chairs laughing. Couldn't keep quiet anymore.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, like the band name, Table on Death.
There's a nice little town in Poland called Hell, and it has a whole bunch of churches in it for some reason. But if it would be interesting if any of you ever travels to Poland, make sure you have Hell as the destination on your plane tickets and keep those, because then you'll have proof that you've been to Hell and back.
Yeah. Well, I have been actually. The names aren't in English, but there is actually a heaven and a hell in Michigan. Heaven is in the Upper Peninsula and hell is in the Lower Peninsula. So I've been to heaven and to hell and back.
There's an Athol, Idaho. Kind of sounds like asshole, but not quite.
Athol, huh?
Athol.
You know what goes on there?
Yeah.
Yeah. What should we name our new town? How about we name it after you, Athol?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We're surrounded by assholes.
Exactly.
Well, in Canada, in Newfoundland and Labrador, we have a town called Dildo.
Nice.
I am not surprised.
Dillo or dildo?
The second one.
What?
Yeah.
What?
It's a real place. Mm-hmm.
Is it populated?
Yeah, there's a population there. Let's take a look. Population of Dildo.
Yeah.
South Park, Colorado is not an actual town.
I already know the population of Dildo, and you're looking at it right
There are
here.
lots of places.
Yeah.
in South Park. I don't know if it's one in Colorado.
Google says the population is 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
That's
134 Dildo Street.
Now the question is that a family of dildos, or is that many?
I just find it interesting. It's like, okay, you're counting up to what?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the population so far.
I hope I have that on a sign somewhere.
That is hilarious. Population so far. Nicholas, I want to know if you've ever traveled to Dildo. You're well traveled.
So well traveled.
That's in Newfoundland.
All gotta go.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to go to Dildo.
Yeah, that's like Greenland. It's like, what should we name this?
Is that
this iceberg we found? How about Greenland?
And what are we going to name the big green area? Iceland.
Yeah, Iceland. Yeah.
And that was purposely. They did that as like early PR. They're like, we'll call it Iceland. No one will want to come here.
This reminds me of how California rolls in sushi are invented in BC, and the BC rolls invented in California.
That's funny.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was recently with a friend of mine in a KFC Taco Bell, and we were asking. My friend was asking about their, the Mexican pizza, which used to be a rather popular item. He thought, maybe get one of those, and I didn't see it on the menu, so I asked him, "Do you still have that?" And they said, "No, we." They discontinued it, and we're both like, oh, that's too bad. I said, well, maybe they'll bring it back someday, and claim that it's a new item, like so many restaurants do. After enough time goes by, here's this brand new thing. I said, if they really want to do that and get away with it, all they got to do is change the name. How about Guatemalan pizza? I mean, like, why is it got to be Mexican? It's not like they make them in Mexico.
Oh, you see Nicholas' comment? That's so funny too.
Can't claim to have lived till you sat for hours on a plane for Dildo. Sometimes gotta travel that plane so you can get right on that dildo.
And sat for hours on Dildo.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Sometimes, yeah.
I heard there's a place in Indiana called Bacon.
Oh, you guys are making me hungry.
We need to go to bacon. I need to get a good old dildo and make some bacon. I'm just gonna have what we call a Saturday.
You want to put some bacon in Diana.
There you
I
go.
wonder if there are any tourist traps in dildo. I mean, can you imagine having to explain to your family, like, you got home late because you were trapped in dildo for a day?
Sorry, did I hear that right? You're asking about traps in dildo?
More like dildos and traps.
Something like that.
You might want to go and settle in a place called Accident in Maryland then.
I mean, it would surprise me somewhat if there wasn't like some plumbing service there named like Dildo Plumbing, because who could resist that?
There's probably lots of stuff like that.
But if you settle in accident, you can't really claim it was an accident because it was purposely.
Yes. Settled in
true.
Accident on purpose.
Be like
could
Bob
always
Ross.
go to
Happy
Experiment
little
in
accidents,
Georgia.
you know?
Did that place used to be named Paramount?
Experiment in Georgia.
That's what I said. Did it used to be named Paramount?
Oh, really?
Now it's
I was asking.
Oh, you're faster. You're faster than I thought you were.
Sam caught that.
It took me a moment.
So when you travel there, you're in Paramount, but when you leave, you're experiment.
Yeah.
Cool. And KO Champ is in the house. And thank you so very much, KO Champ.
KO Champ has quite a way with words.
You said, ooh.
And Randall.
The lovely Randall. I just want you to know, flattery will get you everywhere. Enough of that.
Flattery. That's what the flatterers do, right? Flattery.
There is a place in Pennsylvania called Intercourse.
Yes,
See,
there is.
can I
And
just
in
say,
Woodlands, there's a place
Is
called
it a big
like-
place or just an intersection?
we're so close. You're naming all these things. I'm like, hey, we should probably, I shouldn't, I'm doxing myself. But hey, we should go visit all that stuff.
I'm originally from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan,
time.
so I've seen lots of towns that are just an intersection.
Every time I drive to Philadelphia,
I do every
pass
time I go to the
Blue Balls.
bathroom. What was that? You passed by Blue Balls?
I pass under Blue Balls every time I go to Philly.
Under Blue Balls.
They go
So
right,
do I.
right over.
I've heard that there's also a town in Georgia called Gay.
Wouldn't be surprised.
It's
You
down
need to
the
go
gay
all
old
the
South.
way to Gay.
It's the gay old South.
They're very happy.
That's okay.
Yeah, I could just see it, a big billboard on your way into town that says "gay," and underneath some graffiti artist has spray painted anything but. Wonder which spelling of butt they'd be using.
Gotta love the butt. I say what? Clicking buttons. Say what? In the butt. Let's see. Will says great
Butters
job
song.
on the tournament. Oh, thank you so very much. It was a fun tournament. I enjoyed doing it. I very much like reffing more than I like judging, but it was fun. I really liked seeing the back and forth. They were interesting debates. A lot of good interlocutors. It was really hard.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Yeah, it was like too many close calls.
Yeah.
It really was.
And shout out to Tobin, who was also modding and judging on there.
I'm going to be in a debate
Yeah.
on the 27th with what? I'm trying to remember his name now. John Maddox. And
Really?
Oh.
yep,
When? Where?
modern day debate.
On
The
modern
27th?
day
Yeah,
debate.
Yeah, at 1700 Pacific time. That's 5 p.m.
He's going to come out aggressive. He always does.
Oh yeah,
Aggressive.
He's mad. He's a mad doxer. He's mad.
Oh, yeah, he's.
You know, debating
He's
is more of
angry.
an art than a science, right?
What tips have you got for me?
I'm gonna send both this for the tournament.
You know that, right?
and
Debating is
then
more of an
this
art than a
because
science.
Donald's here.
It's
Or not
kind
Donald.
of,
Randolph.
yeah. It's
Okay.
It's rhetorical art. Yeah.
Okay, so if you get two artists debating, what's the best results you can expect?
A messy
And
wall.
I
A draw.
have a
Jeez.
tip for you, Randolph.
Sorry.
I have a tip for you, and it's really just my pet peeve, and so I think you
Sure.
should. And it's just Maddox does not defend his own belief. He defends, in my opinion. So, John, if you're watching this, come on and join and tell me I'm wrong. But in my
Only if you're
opinion,
wrong. Only if he thinks you're wrong.
exactly. And this is such a long preamble, but I was talking about this with Tobin, I think, backstage at one point with the thing. Just about what the difference between a lot of theists will argue what they think is intellectually enriching to entice atheists, but they don't always debate or defend the reason that they believe. And so my biggest pet peeve, John can insult and do all of that, and that's all the fun in the debate. Let him do that. My biggest thing is he's going to nail you, Kinky, on genetics. Like, that's just going to be his thing. But he doesn't believe because it's, he doesn't actually believe because of genetics. He believes, in essence, and I'm saying this once again only because John says this in chat. He says this on live debates. He believes because he survived a car accident, and as soon as he survived, when he came out, John Maddox, because he came out the other end, he was like, all right, God, I mean, you let me live. I know what I got to do now. I got to, I guess, defeat atheists and evolutionists.
Is that logical?
He bumped his head pretty hard.
Is that probable?
Yeah.
Is that?
It's not probable.
Well, I mean, you should maybe just question him about that. Like I would like.
Well,
yeah, I'm taking.
Yes, that's my tip.
And the topic is. It took us a while to come up to agree on a topic. There's a little bit of negotiation, but we finally got it sorted out. And the topic is if does atheism or does skepticism? Okay, is atheism the logical result of skepticism or something along those lines? And so I'm arguing in the affirmative. So I don't expect he's really going to get into genetics very much. If he does, then that's going to be way off topic. So we'll see where it goes.
He'll just be like, well, he'll just say that it screams design, and he'll be like, I can't believe you don't see it. That's like,
I can handle that.
He's just going to put an argument from ignorance. It's this drawn out bullshit.
Argument from incredulity, abiogenesis.
Design.
Well, tied to the genetics is the abiogenesis, and he loves to hammer at the word code. You know, is it Turing complete? Is it a code and all this type of language? Which once again is not why he believes. I mean, it's really nice. Maybe it'll convince an atheist out there, but say why you believe. That's just my big pet peeve.
Maybe I would ask him, should someone be convinced by that? I don't know. Like,
I've actually had that argument with a couple of people about the code. It's not really a code.
Oh.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not.
Talking about what they refer to as the genetic code.
Yes,
yeah.
And not only is it
it's
that,
not really
it's
a code.
backwards.
He's convinced though because he was a programmer at one point.
Well, I was a programmer at
equivocating.
one point as well, and I still am.
You're not convinced, so there you go.
We don't need to get into all that either. So it will be interesting. I am looking
He'll
forward
take
to
it
that.
there.
Yeah, I know he will. I'll be surprised if he doesn't.
We'll go back into open conversation in a second. We are Skeptic Bible studying, Ubering across the Red Sea. Nicholas, a lot of people have unfortunately drowned, but that's okay. He's a loving and moral God. But how are you anyway?
Did you say he loves being an immoral God? Or did they just hear that wrong?
But how are you, and what are your thoughts is the better question.
Hello, Nicholas. Good to see you.
And that's okay. I'll tell you. I just don't understand.
Oh, I'm doing well. Who's the debate against? Actually, hold on. This is about to die. Let me plug this in because it's about to die. Hold on.
Oh, you're good.
He's delayed a little bit, sounds like, too.
Yeah, I just popped it into the private chat, so anyone's welcome to share it in the public chat.
Share in public chat.
It'll
I'm
be
sending it
me
there.
and John Maddox on Modern Day Debate on the 27th.
That's 4 days away. That's not far. It's not too far away.
27th? Yeah, that's right. 4 days away. Yeah, we're at the we're just almost at 3 minutes to all balls here. Midnight. All zeros.
Did you get
I
your?
hear that a lot. 3 minutes to all balls. It's a common phrase that I. Tip your waitress, folks.
It was NASA that named it that, actually. All balls, midnight, all zeros on the clock.
I like midnight. That's the name of my kitty.
Do you have a? Do you have a?
Oh, thank you, Amy. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Balls is a military thing. I know this because in the Air Force, we had some jets to work on that would have double zeros in their name, like 5004, 5006, or 5008. And they would be called, 5 balls 4, 5 balls 6, 5 balls 8. In fact, one joke on our flight line was when calling the expediter who would pick you up and take you to the jet and take you back to the garage, instead of saying Raptor 5, that was the name of the truck, 5 balls 8, they would say Raptor 5, my balls ache. Or if it was 5006, it would be Raptor 5, my balls itch.
Also, Night Doc. Many hearts.
Oh, okay. Good night, Doc Fearsome.
Later, Doc.
I would like to get back on the debate circuit. I think I'm gonna. I had like 2 or 3 debates fall through because Kent Hovind never emailed me back, and then I didn't take the one debate because it was political. So gotta get back on there.
There are some topics I won't do. It's like I was asked to join one on evolution, and I'm not knowledgeable enough on evolution. So I told the host, I said, "Well, your audience is not going to be satisfied with this." So, yeah, it's
Yeah, I don't think they would have wanted me there talking about evolution because it seems that the people running the thing wanted evolution to be all about nothing but biology.
And it was
Isn't
about
that a big part of evolution. Isn't biology a big part of evolution, though?
Biology is something that evolves. It is not. Biology in and of itself isn't a part of evolution.
I need to get like a rabbit hole.
Just the study of life, right? Biology.
Evolution is one factor in biology, and biology is one thing that evolves. Lots of other things evolve as well, and they evolve in some very different ways than biology does, because they don't change in the same ways that biology does.
Well, and biology is only one of the paths to prove that evolution is real. I mean, you've got the geological columns, you've got various sorts of independent sciences that prove it. If you stick to one, people say, well, it could be wrong. Well, you say, okay.
Well, are you talking about the evolution of life specifically?
Well, personally, so I did debate Hovind. The topic was, is evolution real? And obviously, I stuck some on the biology, but comparative anatomy, which actually isn't considered biology, is another independent science where if you take a look at all the evidence from comparative anatomy, you could say, wow, it looks like evolution is real. Then compare that to how DNA has changed. Compare that to changes in the earth compared to the sedimentary layers and where you find, and all of these are separate sciences, all of which concur, even though they've acted independently.
Right, but I'm saying you're specifically talking about the evolution of life.
Yeah, I am. Evolution in the Darwinistic sense.
Yeah, as opposed to the evolution of anything at all. And that's what I was saying. Not all evolution is biology because life isn't the only thing that evolves.
My bad. Sorry. Okay.
No, that's all right. Clarification is good.
Well, I find if you're arguing with a theist and you start saying that evolution in the biological sense is real, they'll come back with arguments or say that you're trying to argue all evolution is real, it all works the same way, that evolution is the same thing when you talk about the evolution of a star versus it's like, no.
And that's the problem. That's why I think it's a bad idea to start with biological evolution when they're not starting there. If you start with all of evolution and you say not all evolution anybody could imagine is real, but rather that evolution is real. Then if they try to say, well, we don't have any proof that evolution is real. Well, yes, we do. We have proof that all kinds of things evolve, and you can demonstrate evolution to them in real time. Now, if they want to narrow it down to biological evolution and say, well, where's your proof that biological evolution happens? That's a little harder, but it's not impossible. And then you've got them to narrow it down.
That makes sense. I don't think it's as hard as one might think, because biological evolution also happens in real time. That's why we have to get a new flu shot.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, I'm not saying it's impossible.
Yeah.
You can show them. I mean, for example, the AIDS virus has been seen evolving in real time.
Yeah.
They can literally watch it evolve. So, and there are aspects of biological evolution other than generational biological evolution as well. For example, the term evolution and the term evolve were both used for the evolution of embryos into adults long before they were ever used to describe the evolution of populations. Both of which evolve in very different ways from each other because because for example, if you shave your head every day as an adult, that doesn't mean that your child is never going to grow hair because you didn't have any.
So now,
although some people did think that would be inherited, before Darwin's time, and Darwin wasn't sure that kind of thing wouldn't be inherited. He figured it didn't make any sense for that sort of thing to be inherited, and his observations indicated that it was probably not the case. Mendel is the one who came along and showed that it is definitely not the case.
Isn't it a lot of Darwin's stuff has been improved upon and corrected?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. There's a lot that's been improved since Darwin's time.
He got a lot of this started.
And this is one of the big reasons why the people who are not the average creationists, but the people who are really pushing creationism, the upper levels, really want to harp on sticking with Darwin because his stuff is old and outdated, and it's easier to knock down than modern evolutionary theory. Yeah, the modern theory of biological evolution, the modern synthetic theory or modern synthesis theory of evolution is a very, very evolved descendant of Darwinian evolution. Come a long way.
Once again, that is what she said.
Yeah, come a long way.
Exactly.
Was that a suggestion or more of a command?
That depends how you want to take it.
Oh, okay.
Pennsylvania style, the town of intercourse, or okay.
Town of intercourse. I see Will and KO Champ are having fun in chat. Want to send love to the chat out there, and we'll probably go for another 12 minutes. We'll go to the 3-hour mark, and then we'll start doing closers. But it's been fun. So yeah, we've been Ubering across this Red Sea. I'm very interested. Where's my wand? In what mechanism that was that God was like, hey. Well, also, why did God have to have Moses do it? I guess he's got to have a middleman. It'd be boring if God just made it, right? He's got to have Moses go.
He's a good storyteller. God in general. He doesn't do. I mean, if he did it himself, it wouldn't be as good a story. So I think he has a flair for the theatric.
Are you sure that's not just the
presentation? It's all about that presentation.
No, it is Yahweh's extra. Yahweh's super extra. Don't know why.
The flood
Extra
too.
what?
I mean, it's just
Dare
like
I ask.
So I mean, I get excited when I get to use Gen Z lingo, but I think extra, it's like you're going over the top. The so
Extroverted, extraneous. You're exaggerating.
So extra.
Oh, okay.
Extra dramatic.
Okay, I'm young, damn it.
See,
Young.
and there's language evolving.
Extraordinary.
You know,
Yeah,
like I said, evolution's all around us. There's language evolving.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Evolutionary
the thing about
psychology.
debating evolution. You know, nobody on either side seems to want to actually debate evolution. You know, they want to debate some aspect of it, or some straw man of it, and not evolution itself. And I think that's kind of sad, you know, because all of the stuff that they're debating is really irrelevant to what evolution actually is and the fact that it actually does happen.
I'd be willing if I had an understanding in it, but I don't. So that's my reason for it, because it's not an area of expertise.
Your expertise, exactly.
Is there anything in the Bible that would ostensibly deny a larger evolution as opposed to just the biological one?
Not really. I mean, there are evolutionary biologists who believe the Bible is true, and it doesn't bother them. They understand evolutionary biology. They have no problem with believing that a God created things, and that evolutionary biology still happens. That biology still evolves. If they're literalists, and I'm guessing that's a rare thing if it happens at all, but if they're Bible literalists, of course, they would have to then believe that that biological evolution started with created kinds and went from there. But they still know that things evolve because that's where the evidence leads.
Yeah.
Life does evolve. We've got more than enough evidence to make that basically indisputable. I mean, it's completely indisputable if you look at enough of the evidence.
It seems to me like, I mean, just a really easy example of it is dog breeding or even cat breeding.
Yeah.
What they'll say is that's the same kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just it. They move the goalpost on what a kind is in both directions, depending on which way they have to move it to dodge something.
And this is really kind of like what me and Amy were talking about backstage during the tart thing, was like maybe like trying a tactic of moving away, like how to get away from having the debate about these topics of science and get it to that.
I'd love to see a baraminology debate. That would be fun.
It's almost like
a debate between baraminologists about which groups actually constitute a kind.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, is kind actually a scientific term used in scientific literature? No. So
it's not.
That's, if they're going to be debating evolution, wouldn't it make sense that they'd be using scientific terminology rather than nonsense?
If you want to debate it in a more precise way, that would make a lot of sense.
But they don't want to debate it that way, and since they're denying the position, they can just say, "Well, you're using these fancy. This is a species, and that's the wrong way to look at it. It's a kind. That's what the Bible says. There were kinds, but that." Yeah, they won't define it, and people have tried to get clarity on what is a kind, and obviously they can't. It's that equivocation that lets them.
Well, I got no problem with that if they want to go with the biblical kind, because the Bible only names a few kinds, so that would have fit really nicely on Noah's Ark. But then you have to have hyper evolution after the ark landed. So if you want to go with the ark story and say it's true, and there was the crawly and the creeping kind, and there was the beast of the field kind, and there was the flying kind that includes birds and locusts and bats, and you've got the fish kind, which is basically everything living in the water. First off, that's not monophyletic, so genetics would not end up the way it is now. I mean, it doesn't match the evidence. So then you have to assume that there must have been more kinds the Bible didn't mention, and that maybe these kinds that the Bible did mention were multiple groupings, like if God created, for example, let's just say the Bible had said God created the life kind, and that in the life kind there was there were cats and dogs, cats meaning like lions, leopards, whatever. There were dogs like foxes and wolves and whatever else kind of dogs, and there were cattle and there were sea life and all this other kind of life, all within the life kind. And then they said, well, each one produces after its own kind. Well, that just means life is producing life. Okay, Bible out of the way. That's easy enough. Then we can get on to what the evidence shows, because the evidence shows stuff a lot more specific than that.
And okay, guys, we're coming up on hour 3. I think we can start to do our outros. Would anyone like to go first?
Pick people at random.
I'll go. I was last. I'll.
Woohoo! All right, Nicholas. How are you doing tonight? And any final thoughts on the subject, where people can find you? Anything at all?
Doing well. Was glad to be able to come in. I was awake, and I'm always looking for something to do at this hour. So I was thrilled to see this up, and I love discussing the Bible, theism, atheism, all that other stuff. So sorry I didn't get to it sooner, but thank you very much for having me. And I have a news and culture show. It's called In Time, and so you can find me there. And that's about it. I write. I used to debate and do a lot of anti-theism stuff. I don't do much of it anymore, but hanging out in civilized society again, and then every now and then I come here anyway.
Woohoo! Well, thank you so very much. Yeah, I know we're starting to get back into civilization again, right? That will happen. So we're going in reverse order then. So
I
then
can go next.
I think it was. You want to go next,
Sure.
Randolph? That sounds good to me. Randolph, we have been Bible studying. We've been Ubering across the Red Sea. What are your final thoughts for the night, and where can people find you?
Well, I don't know if they had life jackets back then, but I don't know. I think the whole story seems bizarre to me, because it seems like an awful lot of work to split a sea that's only going to give you temporary passage. And then what about the ground? How wet and muddy it'll be. It might be better off to put all that energy into building a bridge that can be used for decades and decades and benefit lots of people instead of one small group. So I guess I'll get on to what you see behind me here is the south wall of the future True North Talk studio that I've been working on with Neil. We're physically building a studio for an upcoming call-in program called True North Talk. You can find out more about it at truenorthtalk.ca, the website. There's a link to the YouTube channel there as well. And I'm also working on an effort to promote the normalization of atheism throughout the world, starting in Canada, of course, because I run an organization called Canadian Atheists. And the website there is canadianatheists.ca. You can find out more about the Normalize Atheism campaign as well at www.normalizeatheism.ca. So thank you very much for having me on and for hosting these wonderful Skeptic Bible studies. They are a lot of fun.
Woohoo! Thank you
Thank
so
you,
very
Randolph.
much, Randolph.
After we normalize atheism, maybe then we can normalize Canada. What do you say?
Actually, I'll just talk. I would like to say one little thing about what I mean by normalizing atheism, because this is sometimes missed. What happens is when somebody says, "Hey, that they believe in a deity or something, or some deities," the typical reaction in society is to just let that go. It's normal. But when somebody like myself says, "I don't believe in deities, I'm an atheist," sometimes the response is quite condescending and shock and concern and, "Oh, you're going to go burn in hell," or something like this, and then attempts to convert us to a religion. So what we're asking for by normalizing atheism, what we mean is that we just want equal treatment to the theists, in that it is accepted as a normal, acceptable thing, just like theism seems to be. That's all we're asking for. And we think this is a nice, gentle thing to push for and a very reasonable thing to ask for.
But Randolph, God threatens to do mean things to you after you die. So wouldn't it be better just pretend you believe?
I really hope that cat is just joking.
He's not.
Gosh, Gizmo. And okay, so I think we'll go, keep on going back. Blaster Master, Donald, and then James, and then I'll take us out. Blaster, do you prefer Blaster Master or do you prefer Ryan? Or
I
you
don't
like
care.
both?
It doesn't matter. It's fine. Either way, I'm not picky.
You're like, I'm here, I'm picking. I'm not picky. It can all touch the plate. So we've been Bible studying. We've been ordering an Uber across the Red Sea, and hopefully no one drowned us. So I prefer not being drowned. I've always been being big into the not drowning thing. And so what are your thoughts, and where can people find you?
Well, my thoughts are that maybe it's a metaphor for the future when we have AI-driven cars and they drive people off of bridges. I don't know. Maybe the Bible is
Hey, that'd be cool.
Yeah, no, and I think that when it comes to the manna thing, like, yeah, I think it was maybe a metaphor for a bad recipe that they got from the neighbors, and they all got fat and they had to go on a diet. And they're like, "Hey, you can't eat bread, as much bread as we've been eating. We're all getting
Carb
fat."
diet.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and God was like, especially on Sundays, like, don't even, or Saturdays. Was it Saturday or Sunday? I don't know.
I think we're at Saturday in this part of the Bible. It'll change, I think, but yeah. And do you have a channel to share?
I'm around on YouTube, but I mostly just hang out. You can find me here, places.
Woohoo! Well, thank you so very much. And so, Donald, how are you doing tonight? We've been Bible studying, and this is a famous chapter. Everyone, it's the Charlton Heston. You know,
Charlton.
They come in and they get saved by Yahweh, which I think Yahweh put this in the situation. Anyway,
we're past that now.
We're past Esau. Unfortunately, Esau the seesaw. But what are your thoughts, and where can people find you?
At least we did get to see the Dukes again.
The Dukes.
Well, yeah, I like I said, I think the manna was just snow. You know, that's pretty obvious to me. As for the quails being in there, I don't know. You know, did they die from the cold and the lack of the air up in the mountains or something? Beats me. Or was that just added to the story? Then again, you know,
you don't
maybe
want to go there, Donald.
Maybe the whole story was just made up. And crossing the Red Sea, I mean, my understanding is that most biblical scholars agree that if that even happened at all, the Red Sea has some narrow, shallow places. It was probably crossed in one of those places. And yeah, I mean, people carrying very little, walking on foot, traveling light, would have had a much better chance of not sinking into the wet ground. So, as opposed to, say, like somebody traveling in chariots, or soldiers with heavy armor and weapons they're carrying and whatever else. So, yeah, I mean, it's a story. The Bible's full of them.
Indeed it is. Woohoo! And you can go find Donald's new channel at Eminent Reflection.
Oh, yeah, I got the custom URL recently, so if you go youtube.com/eminent reflection, it should take you right there.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Woohoo! And okay, moving along, Tobin. We have been Bible studying. We've been catching an Uber just so we don't get killed by Yahweh. What were your thoughts, and where can people find you?
Awesome. Really, I think y'all have nailed it pretty well. Like crossing the Red Sea, you would get stuck in it, even if you found a shallow part. I've walked in some rivers and stuff like that, and you can find some spots that you will sink. That stuff gets soft. But I think Charleston Heston, he just liked to get across to the other side and be like, "Damn you! Damn you!"
It makes for a good scene. So you got to play up the good
Why
part.
did Charlton cross the river to get to the other side?
And y'all can find me on YouTube. Come visit me. I make music with atheist messages in them, and I'd like to tour around the online YouTube community and visit y'all and hang out and join in the conversations. I have fun doing this. I like it.
All right. Thank you.
Woo-hoo! Well, thank you so
Come
very
back
much,
next time, yeah.
Tobin. And so, Sam, we have been Bible studying. We've been traveling across that Red Sea in an Uber. What are your thoughts? And they can join you here. So that's all. What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't know that much about the Bible. So, first of all, can y'all hear me okay?
Yep.
I can.
I don't know that much about the Bible, so I can't really chip in and put in information. I hate it. As far as parting the Red Sea,
Gesundheit. Oh, it's
there's
okay.
no question that God. Oh God! Oh no! Oh, great. There's no question that God does not follow his own sense of morality. What with drowning his own creations and picking a certain race or certain type of people over others. Okay.
Open states.
Let's see here. Yeah. Doesn't follow his own code of morality. Picks the favorite kind of people. So, but then again, he also admits to being jealous. Yeah, part of the Red Sea, just like the miracles Jesus was claiming to produce. Find it hard to believe. The shallow points across the river makes more sense. I don't understand why he purposely hardened Pharaoh's heart. Just to test Moses and the Israelites, maybe?
Yeah, that gets me.
Yeah, I just don't get it. And we haven't even gotten to Mount Sinai. For fuck's sake, I'm just like, why go through all that ordeal? Why? He could have stayed in Egypt and just demanded rights. I would not convince the Israelites to leave Egypt unless they were threatened by genocide. You just demand your rights and pay, because like even the Egyptians weren't paid that much. The pyramids weren't built by the slaves; they were built by Egyptians, civilians, and the Egyptians lived mostly off of bread and beer because wheat was their cash crop. It was also their form of currency. They did not have money. You know, each family was paid in wheat. Kind of like how the Mayans, you know, cocoa was a food, a drink, and a currency as well. But yeah, it's just all this work for nothing. I don't know. Milk and honey. Guess they were really hot commodities back then.
Just sounds like he's playing with his food.
Seriously. I wonder how many vegans there were back then.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what your take is. You could say if they were all vegans until the Garden of Eden mishap, or depends on your interpretation.
Well, vegan technically isn't really about what people eat. It's about an attitude toward other thinking life forms. So, you know, basically it's about treating other animals good. So,
I mean, that's what I do.
Yeah, I mean, considering that, you know, basically the Bible has Adam being given dominion over all the animals, I'm pretty sure, you know, there wasn't any veganism at that point, you know, if that was true. And then there's, of course, you know, the whole burning animals as sacrifices to God right off the bat. Like, you know, what did they do to deserve that?
Gotta love your animal sacrifices.
The animals don't love it.
Yeah, they don't seem to love it, but that's okay. They'll be fine.
But Randolph, he's God. He's so much bigger and smarter than we are. We can't even pretend to understand what he, knows.
So wise.
I have some things I want to talk with God about if God is turning out to be real. And I know I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Has some splaining to do.
Yeah.
Lucy. And okay, so we're moving to the last, I was going to say interlocutor. I guess we all are interlocutors. James, we have been skeptic Bible studying. We have Ubered across the Red Sea. We made it. The Egyptians, I don't think, did. But we had a great time, right? We're the Israelites. We'll be fine. Everything's going to be great.
I mean, they're not going to have water, drink, or food to eat, but I mean, don't worry about it. God will take care of it. So
picky.
They don't really have anything to worry about, because did you know that He is the Lord their God that brought them out of Egypt? Did you hear about that?
Oh my gosh, the Lord thy God. I think you should say it like 5 or 6.
I don't know. This is starting to sound a bit preachy to me.
Yeah. And yeah, I brought you guys out of Egypt. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
And
can't forget he brought them out of Egypt, out into the desert where they couldn't get anything to eat except snow.
I'm the one who killed those Egyptians. I did that. I drowned those Egyptians. They're all dead. I did it. Don't mess with me.
The God ain't right, I tell you what.
You know, I do got to wonder about that. You know, where were they? Did they make it up into the mountains? Did they get over the mountain? You know, I mean, some deserts do get really cold at night. So
they were coming around the mountain when they came.
Around the mountain, yeah.
So God sent a tornado through a Panera Bread, and then it's going to, magically rain down bread on them all.
I mean, there are deserts that have rainy seasons, and there are deserts that have dew on the ground in the morning, and there are deserts that have frost on the ground in the morning. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what the area was they were going through, but it seems pretty obvious they were eating snow.
We'll have to double check on it.
James, what is that lying behind you? Is that a human arm or leg just kind of lying around there?
Yeah, it's a spare part.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes you need to have spares.
Just in case you wear the old one out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or if God decides, hey, you don't need that anymore, like the snake's legs.
Put it on cam. Add it to your background. Put the leg in. Put the prosthetic limb.
Put that leg in.
or the appendix.
And okay, everyone. Uh-oh. It's Yahweh getting into the Yahweh. And okay. No. I hope you all had a fun time on this episode of Skeptic Bible Study, episode 17, Ubering Across the Red Sea.
But Amy, before you go,
do
you realize that he's the Lord their God?
Oh,
and he brought them out of Egypt.
See, it all makes
and
sense.
He's the one. I drown all those Egyptians. Don't forget that. I just want to make sure you don't forget about that.
Yeah. So I hope you all had a fun time on this episode of Skeptic Bible Study, episode 17, Ubering Across the Red Sea, where Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart for the billionth time, then drowned the army. So remember, folks, what happens in Egypt stays in Egypt until we flee in a max exodus. I want to thank James W., Sam Alvarado, Randolph Richardson, Tobin, Donald, Blaster Master, and Nicholas Lamar Sator, along with all the lovely people in chat and our awesome mods who make this stream so great. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that all button icon so you can be part of our live streams. If you'd like to help make more fun content, feel free to check our Patreon at patreon.com/Amy Newman. I'm Amy Newman, and I'll see you all on the next episode of Skeptic Ball Z.
All right, that's this way.